Is it this? Yes, now the sound is on. Hey, sorry. I was getting everything together. No technical difficulties. I just hadn't turned on the sound yet. Okay. I am running a little bit behind, just like in life in general. So all is well, no tech difficulties. I just yeah. So let's see who's here. Hi, Cookielicious. Hey, NFS. Love the hair up. Thank you. There are actually some changes happening to my hair. So maybe the next time we're live, you guys will see something different. Cookie knows what I'm talking about. So anyway, ah, it's okay. You operating on no sleep. I am operating on potentially 6 hours of sleep. Probably more like 5.5 to 5 hours. But let's be optimistic, okay? Hey, Oxy, how's it going? Yeah, I have a little bit more sleep. Not really, actually, no. Yeah, no, that's been about the average lately, and it's been awful. I did say I would share with you guys why. Um, it's not a fun story. One second though. I'm gonna plug in my uh laptop to make sure it doesn't just like randomly die on us, you know? But how are you guys doing today? You said, oh, that's my standard. It's become my standard as of very recently. Normally, it's like 7 hours of sleep. Lately, it's been like 5, 6 hours, give or take. Every now and then, 4 hours. Awful. You're fine. Last day of work before the week off. What are you gonna do for your week off? Just chill? Hey, how's it going? Also, I feel like that was obnoxiously loud, at least in my ear. Just to show you guys what I've got today, I have a bowl of grapes. Unfortunately, they aren't frozen. I forgot to freeze them because well, I was up very late and I told myself that I was going to freeze them and I forgot. Yeah, that's my excuse. So, fresh green grapes. I've got some Olipop. This is the best Olipop flavor that I have had. Amazing. And then I have a new, well, it's not new, but new to me, a new premier flavor. This is their coffee house mocha. I like it. I like it a lot. So, and then I have Twentian. Do we all miss Twentian? There we go. So that's all I have. Story Jumper, you said sleep more. I would love to. I have fought very, very hard to get to sleep. And it's been very, very difficult. And since there are so many of you here now, I think I'm going to tell you why. So he said, not late. Yes, you're not late. Staycation with a gaming friend and yard work. That sounds nice. I need a staycation. Yeah. I'm so ready for our actual vacation. My husband and I, at the end of August, are going to Disney World to finally let me experience all the parks in their glory and just let me be a kid again. And it just can't come fast enough. I want it to come faster. Anyway, um, oh, the camera was facing sideways. Hold on. So was it facing the right way? Oh, it was. Okay, great. I was having some weird camera angles earlier and I was like, why isn't it showing the right way? Because the camera was just turned the wrong way. Anyway, um, but yeah, I'm so ready for that vacation. Like I just need it so freaking bad. I need to go away. I need to get away. And I told him, I was like, in next year, I'm gonna make sure that no matter what's happening, that there's two vacations. Like, even if it's not him, like if he wants to keep working and doing what he's doing, I'm gonna take a second vacation, even if it's just like 3 days away. I mean, because we have our timeshare anyway, and I can go to any of the locations in the United States. I can also exchange it to go overseas, but I'd probably do something small and just like take a small trip somewhere and just breathe. Because sometimes work, in general, not my work, just work in general, it can, after so much time, it just builds up and you're just tired. Like you just need to get away. And like waiting a year for one big week-long vacation is just like, no. So anyway, you said you saw that 2:59 a.m. timestamp in the chapter chat. Why do I feel like I'm being called out? Wait, why do I feel like I'm being called out right now? Because first off, and then second of all, um, I'm gonna go to the chapter chat and see is it really that timestamp? 2:59. See about that. 20. I love Mocha. Disney World. Oh my gosh. Yes, be safe in your yard work, by the way. It's really cool to see you very diligent in that whenever you post your videos in Discord. Calling out your insomnia. Oh, not me, just the insomnia. Got it. When you can't sleep, you do what you can to get drained enough. Yeah, I try. So let me go ahead. Okay, apparently I'm being called out again. Hold on. Uh, Oxy, cut a girl some slack. Yeah. This is what Oxy just sent in Discord. And she decided to screenshot it. Okay. Okay. You know what, Oxy, you're grounded for calling me. I don't know what's going to be your punishment, but you're grounded. So let me tell you all why I've been having trouble sleeping. Okay. Right. I got no slack. She was like, here's the receipt. So about 2 months ago, I had the awfulest, and that's a word, the awfulest first time experience. And now I'm just paranoid. So, um, my husband and I had come home, right? We have a garage in our apartment complex, in our apartment, and we had come home, got out of the car, lowered the garage door. The light was on, and I saw a cockroach. And we don't have bugs here. Like when we first moved here, we had a ladybug issue. Like there were ladybugs everywhere. But like overall, where we live, it's a very good place. Bugs are not a problem. But I saw this cockroach. It was so big. And I was like, oh. And so I grabbed our outside broom and I was like, die, 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 trying to kill it. But it got away because we have a lot of storage in the garage, which by the way, I will be working on changing that because some of that storage is in cardboard boxes. And so we're basically feeding them if they ever come up. So, anyway, I didn't get to kill it, but I'm like, you know what? It's in the garage. So, like, we'll be fine. Right? We'll be fine. We'll be fine. So, one devil's minions. So, one night, I am in bed chilling with hubby. We're both on our phones doing whatever we want to do, right? And eventually hubby falls asleep and I'm like, "You know what? Oxy, I will murder you." Now shoot the second image. So so yes, it takes a lot for those mother truckers to die. So I'm in bed. Husband eventually goes to sleep and I'm like, "Okay, I need to be a responsible adult and go to sleep because I have real adulting to do today because it was a new day. Like it was literally like 3 a.m. I'm like, okay, 5 more minutes, I'm putting my phone down. The cockroach, it did not appear in my line of vision on the wall. It did not appear on the ground, I mean, on the carpet somewhere. It did not, I didn't get up to go use the bathroom and then see the cockroach. I was on my phone. And then suddenly I was like, it was on me. It was on me. It was on me, on my back. Mind you, I also sleep basically naked. So I'm like, and like I yelped. And I was just like, what? And I had great aim. Clearly, I went to some kind of cultivation sect and I flung it off. And then I immediately turned on my flashlight and it was there. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And so, like, I had to hurry and run and get the spray because even if we don't have a roach problem, I'm always going to have bug spray. And so I'm spraying it. But this spray is, stronger on insects rather than roaches. And so I'm spraying it and it's still running away. And I'm like, spray, 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 spray. Meanwhile, husband's just like, even with all like the moving stuff around, because it was like running behind stuff and I was like throwing things. And it was slowing down, but not dying. And so I grabbed this shoe. And finally, once it got to us, because I stood there, because it hid behind my bookcase. And I was like, well, I can't move that. So we're just gonna play a waiting game. Yeah. So then finally it comes out and I'm like, like I felt just okay. That was my plight. In bed. It's the first time that has ever happened to me in my entire freaking life. And it was near impossible. It was nigh impossible to sleep after that. So I was just like, okay, okay. Dreamt about it. Awful. That was 2 months ago. You said when you see one roach, there's always more, right? And so it was an absolute nightmare. So here's the issue. Here's the issue. Earlier this week, what was it, Sunday? Actually, time doesn't matter. Within the past 7 days, okay, a couple days ago, my husband and I, we left. He had to go to his work site for something, and I was like, I'm coming too, because I want a car ride. I'm like a dog, I love car rides. We go, we come back. Light is off this time. But as I'm going to the door, I see a big dot on the ground. So I flick on the light. It is a roach, a cockroach. Let's clear it up. And so I immediately grabbed the broom and I was like, die. And I don't know where it went. I don't know if it ran away or like got stuck in that. I don't know. The point is, I'm paranoid. I'm extremely paranoid. I've been paranoid since a couple of nights ago. And I was like, we got to get rid of these card boxes because we don't have a bug problem. And yet in the garage, I've seen two within 2 months. And maybe that's a long stretch of time. I think that's pretty decent, especially considering our last apartment complex, they just had a roach problem. Like it wasn't even our apartment. This was something that was popping up in the reviews, these little roaches. And like every day they came out and I love you. I'm telling them about my cockroach nightmares. Yeah. And so and they would come out every single day, like no matter what, in that apartment. So we don't have a bug problem. We don't have a roach or a cockroach problem. But I'm like, okay, maybe they're attracted by the boxes. So we got to get, and they're all, it's almost all his boxes. And I'm like, all of these boxes that you've brought from work, do you need them? Like, do they have to be here? Can they not be at the job site? And if I buy you plastic or whatever kind of containers, can you switch things over into that, please? Because I'm paranoid. Paranoid. And so um I just have not been able to sleep because every night I'm terrified that this once in a life, it's not really once in a lifetime. I don't know what else to call it. This once in a lifetime event is going to happen again. And then he's like, "Babe, that's not going to happen again." And I'm like, "Sir, it literally happened 2 months ago. It could happen again." And he's like, "Yeah, but how often has that ever happened?" I'm like, "It could." And so when I'm laying down at night, I'm just like turning on my flashlight. I'm like, is it coming back? Is this one also going to touch me? And then, like, I won't even lie in the same direction anymore. I'm like, no, I need to face the way the last cockroach came from to, like, make sure I am protected. Like, I need to see it. And, like, I won't even sleep. I'm like, you stay awake and protect me. I will try to go to sleep. It was so freaking hard. And then 2 nights ago, when I was trying to lie down and go to sleep, I was like half conscious. And I kid y'all not, I woke up and I was like, "Ah!" Because I thought there was a roach on me. So, like, this has been my struggle. Okay. This has been my struggle. This is why I have not been able to get to sleep. Alrighty. I have shared my woes with you all. So I do need to, I think either I think maybe I'll have us go to Sam's Club to buy some of these containers that I saw. Um, but I'm like, yeah. And then when I told him that they eat the cardboard fibers or whatever, he was like, they do? I was like, I did not know this. I was like, yes, you're feeding them. You're giving them a home. No, I don't want us to have a problem in the garage because the garage has a doorway to in the apartment. He says shoe always works. Well, see, the thing is, I also have just a terrible fear of like me trying to go and step on it and still not being successful. So, I'm always trying to stay as far away from it as possible. And it only works if it's not fast. Those mother truckers be fast. When there is a lizard in my room, I cannot fall asleep. We have had a lizard come inside before, but this was like years ago at a different apartment. And I felt so bad because I was trying to get it out of the apartment. And I took a broom and I was like, sweep, sweep, sweep. I opened up the door, tried to sweep it out. I did not realize that the threshold was lifted a little and I ended up killing it because it got like stuck in between. We've also had a frog come into our apartment before years ago when we had a dog. That was not fun. That was not fun at all. So anyway, that's why I haven't been able to sleep. Am I justified? Can am I justified in my paranoia? Like literally every second in bed at night specifically. Like I'm fine during the day, but then at night I'm just like even like the softest little thing I'm like, am I justified? I think I'm justified. You guys need to call an exterminator. A roach problem is hard to get rid of. Well, I'm gonna have us change out the boxes and stuff first and then see. Because I don't know if it's actually a roach problem or if this was just like a really brief thing. Because again, we don't see them. Um, we don't see them. This is literally only the second time, and we've been living in this apartment for a year. So I don't know. I'm gonna let us change everything out first. And then if I see it again, I will call, well, I will schedule a work order for pest control and give them specifics. I'm not gonna pay for an exterminator if I don't have to because this is an apartment and they should be taking care of it. So anyway, that's that's been the thing. Just two of those things. Uh but yeah. And I definitely know that roaches are hard to get rid of, because when we first moved to Atlanta, the apartment complex we first lived in, which we did not know, and it was our first time adulting after college and everything, it had a real bad roach problem. And it wasn't the regular roaches, it was cockroaches. I was killing them on the regular basis. And I was like, we're not dirty. And I was like, and neither, but it doesn't always have to do with you. It could be a neighbor or just, the structure of the building, all that stuff. So you said don't turn lights off. Bugs always come out. And I was like, why did you have to come onto me? That's like the thing that I cannot get over. I can't get over that. Like, I'm dying. You said because if there's been three, two, it means it's an issue. Also, after treatments, you will see more bugs because they will die before they hide. Yeah, yeah, I know. Every time we get pest control, which actually it's been a minute since we got pest control because we have such a little bug problem, then I'll see like a couple of bugs here and there. I'm like, oh, hey, you were hiding somewhere. I guess you died. Now you're in the middle of the floor. Okay. Um, maybe an apartment around you have issues. I don't know if it's an apartment around me or if it's the boxes that have attracted them. That's what well, I guess I don't have to figure that out. What the cause is, because if it's a neighbor, there's nothing I can do about that. But I can get rid of our boxes. So I'm not sure why they're here, but we're going to get them gone because then if we don't, I will never sleep again. There's so many baby lizards in your house. Why? Absolutely, someone needs to be called. No, I get you. We had a lot of rain lately, so that, you know what? We have had a lot of rain lately. And it's been so weird. This is not summer, it's sprummer. Sprummer. Because it's been raining so much. This is the most rainy summer I have ever lived in, except for once, I think in was it 2009 when I was in foster care? Phew, I don't remember. Um Bugs do not come out in rain. Yeah, they maybe they hide in your in your garage. Ah. We get ants in the house every year like clockwork. It's so annoying. Oh man, that would be so annoying. And they're so tiny too, so you can't step on those. That would be upsetting. Yeah. Actually, that happened to us once before in our last apartment that had the roach problem. It also had an ant problem. Like there were ant hills all over the place, and um I guess the window in our bathroom was not fully closed, which we've never opened it, mind you. And one day I went into the bathroom to do my facial and I didn't realize it until I like happened to look over and there were just so many ants everywhere over the shower and everything. That was not fun. Anyway, that apartment was trash. I left a bad review on that apartment. And so many people were also leaving the apartment complex. I was like, why did we move here? Why did we not see these reviews? Oh my gosh. So, um, let me see what you guys are saying. At which point you need to be worried about flooding, climbing that water table. Oh, you had a spider crawl on you at night recently? That's terrifying. That's very terrifying. Do we have wood floors? Um, yes, I think so. Other than like our carpeted areas. I don't know if it's like I don't know exactly. Maybe. Who knows? I think so. Oh my gosh. I would be concerned about silverfish in your boxes. Why are you trying to make me more concerned? What is a silverfish? That's what those things are called? I've seen those before in the past. Like just over years of life. And I'm like, what are these things? I've only ever really truly seen them before though, like in bathrooms. Thank you for giving a name to them. I want to stop looking at them now. Anyway, wow, I did not know that that's what those were called. Interesting. So yeah, my other thing is though, like I said, the majority of those cardboard boxes are my husband's, but some of them are mine, but I don't know what to do. I like maybe I can put the boxes in the plastic container because I have to keep them because they're the boxes for all of my figurines. So like I can't get rid of those because when we move, they need to be packaged carefully. So, um, anyway, but yeah, I've never seen any silverfishes in our boxes before. Like we've always had boxes. Even in our last apartment, we had an outdoor storage and we kept boxes, but I'd never seen any in there. So we're good on that front, fortunately. Ants hate baking powder. Good to know. Oh, big black ants, not the tiny ones. Oh, summer is fun time. Is it? Is it really though? Silverfish is what every other thing eats. Thanks. You guys are not comforting me at all. They destroy your books? Oh, to hell they do. They ain't got no chance here. I will murder those mother chuckers. I always leave the spiders alone and let them spiders eat the things that are inside, I guess. Your mom doesn't properly take care of books. Shame that there's a roach problem in that room. Ah, I see. Well, the thing is, though, we have not had any roaches inside except for the two that were in the garage. But like they're, I've not ever seen them just like randomly inside. I've seen like a random bug or two inside because they can't all stay out. But I've only ever found them in the garage and then, one got in. Nevertheless, like I said, we're going to get it taken care of so I can sleep. So yeah. That's my story. That has taken up 30 minutes of time. I think that's enough stall time for anyone who needed to be Oxy, I do not want to click on this. I do not want to click on what you just I'm not going to click. I'm clicking on it. Oxy, I officially have a vendetta against you. You better sleep with your eyes open, both of them, because you're being very mean. You're being so mean. So anyway, uh, that's it. Other than that, I'm doing things with my hair that you guys will see eventually, depending on how long it takes, which thus far it has taken 15 hours. Um, and it still looks like there's no progress, but I promise there is. I've also been painting. I'm trying to do this jade pendant thing because I've been so behind on all of our weekly art challenges. So, Oxy, Oxy. So, anyway, this is like the first two layers, so it doesn't look like much at this current moment, y'all. But I'm working on my jade pendant. This is the big blob it is right now. So I gotta keep going. Um, Oxy, I can't. I'm not really good at cracking my knuckles, but just you said that jade pendant looks like something else. Hold on, that's because it's not done. This is like the first two layers. What does it look like? I need to finish this so it cannot look like that's something else. It looks like a scarab. What is that? Hold on, let me look. You know what? If y'all don't stop with the bugs, you claim plausible deniability. So let's go. Let's just get started. I'm not showing you guys anything else or doing any more story time. Okay, this is what we are here for. Thrice married to a salted fish. The end of volume 3. I'm leaving you guys alone. I'm not reading the comments for the rest of this live. Scarab carving. Well, when I looked up scarab, it was a bug that came up. See? Bug. Scarab carving. Oh, okay. Still bug shaped, but not alive. Okay. Okay. We're okay. Okay. Sorry, Meg. It's a real jade pendant. I found it online and yes, I'm grounding you guys. Weren't they in the Mummy? I don't remember. Where are we? Chapter 97, right? So let's get started. Chapter 96 ended with Tsingyu having nightmares, okay? And we've all got Snoma, just period, right? And then Gufujo is hiding the fact that the rations are short. Yeah, he's not telling the soldiers. So we move on to chapter 97. And I'm going to do my best because we've got so many chapters to review today. Chapter 97, we have eventually the soldiers are like, yeah, we know something's up. What's going on with the food, right? And the excuse is that, oh, the cold is coming soon, so we're just trying to ration now just in case problems happen later, like snow blocking the roads. But it's not working anymore. Like there's only so many times you can give this excuse before people are like, but we're hungry now. So feed us the proper rations. Like we can't even practice for real because we're hungry. And so anyway, that excuse is not working. And then we have a moment where we find out because General Shi and Wu Youyuan are always arguing, right? And General Shi is afraid of the death of his soldiers. He's afraid of the death of others. And Wu Youyuan is just kind of like, okay, but if they don't die now, more will die later because General Shi is just like, I mean, I'm not afraid of death like for myself, I'm afraid for everyone else because they have families, blah blah blah. And he's like, I mean, this is kind of their job. They fight, sometimes they die. And if we keep stalling, more and more people are going to die, especially with the food shortage, because it's like if they can't eat, that makes them weaker, which means they'll be more prone to dying. It'll be easier for them to be killed off. So he's like, we just need to go to war. We need to go on and fight and take back Yongliang, you know? And so they're yapping, 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 and arguing. In general, Gufujo, he's just like, okay, bye. I don't want to be around this. And he ends up spying on this man at the moment, Jiang Dage, who is taking a bun to Xiao Linzi. How very convenient. Jiang and Lin. Who was it that pointed that out? Was it you, Cookie? I think. And you guys have permission to talk. You're no longer grounded, but you can't talk about things that will traumatize me. So, yeah. So he follows um Jiang Dage and sees him giving a bun to someone else, but then eventually Shen Huaishe sneaks up on him. And so he goes away and learns that snow has blocked the road. So they're gonna have to carry the food, the rations on their shoulder back to camp, basically. And he's like, okay, let the soldiers have their fill tonight. And then soon we're gonna go to war. Like, we're gonna do this. There's no more delaying, you know. Wu Yuan is right, you know? And so he plans to minimize casualties. And he says, I just hope I won't have to use it. And I was like, sir, you talking about your life? Whatever this minimize casualties is, it involves you dying, doesn't it? Huh? Doesn't it? I love salted fish so much. Me too. Me three. And so it's like, what is this plan, Gufujo? Hmm? Tell us what this plan is. So then we move forward and we have Gufujo and Lin Qingyu. They're writing letters to each other. And it's so cute because Gufujo is complaining about his longing and everything. And he even says the phrase wrong. He's like, do you know the longing etched into delicate dice, embedded as deep as red beans into my bones? And Lin Qingyu is like, dude, wrong. This is how you say it. Um, okay. Okay. Well, let us know when you're leaving then so we can wish you safe travels then. And so he's like, this is how you pronounce, I mean, this is how you say the phrase, my guy. And then Gufu Joe is like, hey, I'm telling you that I miss you and you're just correcting my grammar. Like, what's going on? And, you know, he's like, Qingyu is like, do what you do first, okay? We got things to handle. And so eventually Gufujo, he's just like, hey, you miss me, don't you? Wink, wink. What? Come on. And so we finally get to a point where Tingyu says, I want to have sex with you. Because he's like, if you don't reply this time, I'm going to throw a tantrum. So he's like, I want to have sex with you. Are you happy? I'm only being patient because you're literally far away. Like, I don't have a choice. And I was like, Chingy, sweetie. That's just literally what my note says. And I left another note that says, the way I just bust out heing because it was so funny. I was just like, oh, yeah, let's just say that. That's fine. And so anyway, that was so cute. You said Lin Chingyu is me. Oh no. I didn't realize we started early today. I am ready to cry with you all. Let's cry, Koro-san. Also, you don't have to worry. We literally just finished the first chapter because we were talking about other things that we will not mention in the comment section for the time being. Thank you all very much. And so, from this, on page 277, we have Gufujo realizing that basically his wife has been going through withdrawals and probably is pissed based on the letters. And it says, you know, he's probably going to do something wicked and render the people who have wronged him to even more pitiful and helpless than he was. And we know that Qingyu is like, he wants exactly, Meg, you get a point. He knows that his Chingu wants to do something. And so we move forward, and Wu Yuan is invited. By the way, for him to say he wants to have sex with Gufu Zhou, just such amazing growth. Story Jumper, I will. So Wu Yuan is invited by Gufu Zhou to view the moon. And then it's a command. And so Wu Yuan is like, I just want to fight. I just want us to go over these strategies. Why are we looking at the moon? And he was like, boy, if you don't come look at this moon with me. And then at page 278, the final page, we have it where he's saying, if I get captured, great. So this has to do with your plan. Okay. You ain't got to say it, but we know. But then he says, you have to come save me. You got to come save me because I promised my baby that I would come home. You said it with an emoji. Pictures are worth thousands of words. So then that's the end of that chapter. He's like, you must save me at all costs so I can get home to my babe. And then we move on to chapter 98, in which we have Wu Yo Yuan. Like they go back and he's like, I'm going to go order some noodles for you as you requested. But then he comes back without the noodles, mind you. And he's all embarrassed and infuriated because he saw cut sleeves doing what cut sleeves do, and they should be executed. And Goofy Joe's like, "Oh, there's punishment for guys doing things with guys. Okay, bring them, I guess." And then he's like, "So what? What did they do exactly, y'all?" I kid you not. I thought that Wu Yo Yuan was going to be like, I caught them having sex. I caught them being super intimate. Let's get it on with each other. But when we go to page 281, didn't you say they'd engaged in cut sleeve activities? Yes, I saw it myself. What did they do? The taller one kissed the shorter one's forehead. We all thought that. Not even a kiss on the lips. Not making out. A kiss on the forehead. And he wants them executed. And your general is married to a man. Like, I'm not saying he's against cut sleeves or anything like that. Clearly there are rules, but like, tread lightly, maybe? All right. And then after that, it says Gufu Joe was speechless. I was speechless. And so, of course, Jiang Dage was trying to say he forced him, and then Lin Lan will get there, was like, no, I was a willing party. So do what you think should be done. And he's like, hey, what are you guys' names? And so we have Jiang Shiyue and Lin Lan. Because, of course, they have to have the same names, the same surnames. And so, Gufu Joe, he's just like, okay, there are 24 hours in a day. If you miss even an hour or a minute, you can't call it a whole day. Go spend time with each other. And they're like, wait, you're not gonna kill us? And he's like, no. Go spend your lives, the rest of your lives together, which apparently is very short. And he's like, you guys have beautiful names, and people with beautiful names, they live long lives. Yeah. Okay. People will think he's overcompensating to hide something. Maybe, because that's not necessary. A kiss on the forehead, like, that's something, I wouldn't even say that's something you can let slide. I don't think there's anything to let slide. It's a fucking kiss on the forehead. So, anyway, Jiang Shiyue is about to say, oh, if I'm still alive in 2 days, I'm gonna. And he's like, shh, don't say anything. But what does Jiang Shiyue do? He still says it when he's alone with Lin Lan. 2 days later, Great Yu attacks Yongliang, and the people on the front lines are the first to get killed because they've got all the arrows. Pew, 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 especially for them. Strategy, go ahead, let those people in the front die so they can run out of arrows. And then they're like, oh, we have boulders too. Boom, boom, boom. And this cute little couple, bruh, I'm trying to find the exact page. Anyway, Um, Gufu Joe, I do want to talk about something else. Let me just say this really quickly. So Gufu Joe, he's scared. He's terrified, but he won't say it out loud. In fact, he says, well, he's thinking, like, I guess the narration, he was Gufu Joe right now, the great general who never lost a battle, the war god known to every citizen of Great Yu. The real Gufu Joe wouldn't be scared. So he couldn't be scared. at least not in front of the soldiers. So, not only did this chapter kill off two loving people who shared the same surnames as our main characters, which was mean. It was rude, Bika. Just very, very rude. Why did we have to do this? Um, it also ends on such a sour note. Like, I don't know, for me, this chapter was just really glum because I think for the first time we get to see like the hardship for Jiang Bro having to be someone else. You know, when we saw him as Luan Chung, I mean, he didn't even pretend to be like Luan Chung. He was just himself in a sickly body. But yeah, we're reminded, and we know this already, especially in when he was in the capital, that he had to be great General Gufu Joe. But it wasn't until this moment where they were really meat bunning when it was really brought to our attention like, yeah, he's pretending to be someone else, and not just someone else, some rich son, not just some random person, but a freaking war god. He doesn't get to be himself except for when he's alone with Lin Tingyu. And he's been able to be himself in some ways, you know, with the change in his personality, but he has not been able to change in the standard of how he operates. And so, you know, he's like the real General Gufu Joe. I mean, he wouldn't be scared at all. So he couldn't be scared. And, you know, he was just like, he just wants to tell Chingyu that he's exhausted, that he didn't want to lead this army nor fight this war. He just wanted to be a salted fish and stick to Lin Chingyu all day, every day. But he was Gufu Joe. And he ends it with saying, no, I'm not scared at all. And I just felt really bad for him because I was like, man, he really needs a chance to be himself. Actually, my note from when I first read it says, Jiang Dazhuang really needs a chance to be himself. So he must transmigrate into Xiaoli because he is an empty vessel whom he can craft the personality into. That was what I put for my first read. Okay, moving forward. 100. Meat Bun has us all traumatized for sure. And I need to take out my aligners. Or am I going to sit them? I guess I'll sit them on this watercolor t shirt. Instead of using paper towels to like wipe off my brushes, I use a t-shirt and I also have a towel. Oh, and I'm gonna remove my aligners. Okay, I'll just sit them in my grape bowl. That's fine. Imagine being forced to do something you don't even know how to and don't want to. And that's the thing about Gufu Joe that he really needs to understand. It's one of the reasons I really, really like him because he was not a general in his previous life. Yet he came here and he has won every single battle. Like, you have to be Tiantai, you have to be a genius, right? For that. So kudos to him for shit. Next chapter. So kudos to him, book four cover, for doing it up. Like, he's doing it and he's doing a great job. I just hate the fact that he has to. So then when we move to chapter 99, which has a picture in it, page 289, let's just go ahead and give us the trauma, Beakabee. As Gufujo walked out of the camp, a light snow began to fall from the sky. And I don't, was it in this chapter that I said it or was it in another chapter? I don't remember, but just in case, fuck. College boy became a general. It's snowing. Snama unleashed in the first sentence. I'm telling you, Bika B is very mean sometimes. You know, like reminding us, oh, Lu Wancheng was dead in the opening to one chapter. And I don't like it. Like I know Meat Bun is going to destroy me. I'm still gonna hate her for it. But I feel like Bika B was pretending to be nice and then sometimes just like slides in these mean things for me. So anyway, Snama begins. Shuntwasher has night vision, by the way, while they're going out on the road to Jewel County as planned. It's very, very quiet. Um, and they're, you know, using himself as bait, right? Because the whole plan is if we can lure away the enemy, if they know that I'm coming to this area that apparently they can trap the enemy in, they're going to come because they want my life. Like that's the most important thing. They want me dead. So let's leave them here. We'll have some troops led by Wu Yo Yuan hiding and then come save the day and everything will be just fine. And we're all going to be very happy. And this is not going to happen. So they're going, and it's quiet, and Schunfleischer has night vision. These are fun things to know. And then they decide to light their torches on purpose so that the enemy could be like, oh, there they are. We could be just casually slipping in the trauma, right? Right? I wonder if BKB will add a snow scene in the next volume and where it, ooh, one where it isn't sad. Better. Better, 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 better. Because we need that. Because Chingyu hates the snow, and things are always snowmatizing us, and I don't like it. So Bika B throws an arm over our shoulder, smiling and laughing, and slipped a salted knife into our ribs. Keeps laughing. A salted knife, right? So they're there. They light their torches, and the enemy are like, oh, there they are. And not only did the enemy come, the enemy came with everybody. They brought the whole gang. Not even funny, not even cool. Okay. And we have where basically, yay, the whole thing is Shirpei, since so many of them are here, it's logical to think that Shirpei has taken back Yongliang, right? Because that's a lot of soldiers here. So clearly they aren't guarding Yongliang anymore. Huh. And then we know enemy goal, Gufujo. They even brought professional freaking assassins. And Schunfleischer is like, don't worry, General, I'll protect you. Meanwhile, already freakishly badly injured. Right, right. Just build, we know it's coming. But just go ahead and twist the knife like, yeah, Schunfleischer is not even going to be able to protect him good enough because he's already hurt. So we know this is going to be a guilt trip all over, right? So then we get to the point where they're fighting, people are dying, and there is still no General Wu. Woo Woo, where you at? Woo Woo, where are you? Where's Woo Woo? Snama. There's an avalanche that has delayed him and the soldiers. Also, one thing I want to point out is page 293, where we have Gufu Joe, because this battle is relentless, right? And as more people die, as General Wu and his people do not show up, the morale of the army is lessening. You know, it naturally happens. And so on page 293, it says, in order to convince the enemy that it would win, Gufujo had only brought 3,000 cavalry officers with him. First off, I would just like to say that I personally believe that that is a badass line in order to convince the enemy that it would win, because sometimes you have to do that. Like you have to play so weak or so down or whatever to let the enemy lower their guard. And of course, they're thinking they're going to win. And they don't know reinforcements are coming, even if said reinforcements are late. But it kind of reminds me of this quote that I never get exactly right from All Might, when he was basically saying an enemy sure of their victory is bound to fall, or something like that. But that was this just this kind of moment, and we'll come back to that moment. So then they're fighting, but then one moment of hesitation, right, because of a wound, and Shanhuaisha cannot protect Gufujo from an arrow, and then another arrow, and then another arrow. So many arrows. And Yongliang is secured. Yay. And this is what we get. This is what we get. Look, I don't know what's more devastating, the close up of his face or like the shadowing out of his eyes in this. I don't know what's more devastating. I don't know. Knew this was coming. But like, okay. So he's got all the arrows inside of him. Shunfleischer is like, hey, we won. Did you hear that? We won. I just need you to stay alive a little bit longer. Like, they're coming. They're coming. They're going to save you. It's going to be okay. And of course, he's like, they're coming to save me. Yeah, I'm just going to keep my eyes open a little bit longer. But this chapter hurts. This chapter hurts because Gufujo, he doesn't want to die so bad because, of course, he's thinking of Chingyu and he's like, he's going to be sad. He is going to cry. But in the midst of him bleeding out, we just see how he's just like, dang, I'm gonna die and I'm not gonna return. If I knew this was how things were going to be, I wouldn't have kissed Lin Chingyu. I wouldn't have basically made him fall for me. I wouldn't have fallen for him because I'm about to leave him again. And he's thinking like, I wish he could just lose his memories of me because then he would be okay. Because if he remembers, what are we gonna do? And so, of course, he's like, it's daybreak. And Schunfleischer is like, yes, it's daybreak. And he says, good. And then he's gone. And just to let us know, in case we weren't sure, Gufujo perished outside of Yongliang, pierced by countless arrows, because we didn't know that. So, yeah, yeah. The Shadow Schunfleischer is good. I just, okay. So then when we move to chapter 100, we have the Western Xia army. They got destroyed, basically. because that was the plan all along. Wu Yuan and them finally showed up and shing shing shinged. Great. I have at the bottom of this page, if Shirpei hadn't held him back, Wu Yuan thing, he would have traveled all the way to Western Xia's capital and destroyed the entire nation, sacrificing their king to the great general's lost soul. From that moment on, that would be Wu Yuan's life's goal. And I just wrote a little note. It says, see, and this is why wars never end. Revenge, revenge, revenge. This is why people keep dying. This is why readers like us keep getting hurt. Because revenge. And it's crazy because I'm watching this C drama. I think it's called Ashes to Crown, and literally one of the people's, or wait, or was it when I was still watching Pursuit of Jade? I think it may have been Pursuit of Jade actually, because I finally finished that. But someone said, this is why wars never end, because revenge just makes us go in a circle. Basically, I wish I would have written down the actual quote because it was much more profound. But I was like, I get the hurt. I am devastated that Gufujo is gone. But Gufujo is gone because of revenge. So then we're going to keep going. Yeah. Anyway, they have a great victory. Yeah. But nobody's happy. Nobody's happy for obvious reasons. And Shen Huaishe is going back to the capital so that he can give the news. And by the time he arrives, it's like half a month later. But Qingyu has basically been emperor. He's been acting emperor, and the Empress Dowager is like, he can do whatever he wants. That's fine. I'm good. She's just chilling. And she even ranked him third rank superintendent minister because people were yapping their mouths. And of course, to elevate him to prime minister just right off the bat would be a bit too drastic. So there's that. But Qingyu is having nightmares still. And he's concerned because where he used to get letters from Gufujo every day, where they at? He hasn't received them in weeks or whatever the time frame was. And so he's concerned. And we have it switches to another scene. And Xiao Jie, he has written his abdication memorial, and he says that Lin Qingyu is the one who forced him to be emperor. And I just hate, like, I've just kind of breezed past the previous note because we don't have a choice, because that's what the chapter does. Lin Qingyu is basically the emperor now. So, yep, he's concerned he hasn't received letters. But in the meantime, in the between time, somebody is trying to abdicate and then blame Qingyu for his circumstances. But Qingyu is like, when did I ever come to you and say for you to be emperor? The person that I went to was your beloved and trusted eunuch. Eunuch Xi Rong is who I went to. I never came to you. You could have said no. You also could have been obedient and been perfectly fine, but whatever. And so he's like, basically, if you want to blame someone, blame the person that you trust the most. And so we move forward. And on page 303, oh, I got a lot of highlights. Okay. So then Xiao Jie is like, no, no, no. It's not like that. If you hadn't existed, Ah Zhong and I would have been fine. And my note just says, a child's response. Fool. If only that could be the excuse for everything. Oh my gosh. If you hadn't existed, then this wouldn't have happened. Or if you would have just said no, then this wouldn't have happened. Or if you would have told Lin Qingyu and the Empress Dowager about Xi Rong's plan, then this wouldn't have happened, or would have happened a lot differently. Okay, sure. So of course, Xiao Jie is like, please, 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 at least let me see him. And he's like, no. Why should I let you see Xi Rong when I can't even see my husband? And so we move forward to the next scene. After his abdication, we have the preceptor who divines the ninth star of the constellation Way shows that the true heir has been restored and his soul will return so that he can rule the empire. So, with that hope, people no longer have any objections about Xiao Li becoming emperor. Not that they could do anything anyway, because, you and what army, basically. So, yeah, we already know where Jiang Bro is going then from that point. So, Xiao Li, 17, ascended the throne and moved to Xingqing Palace. Lin Qingyu went to Qingzheng Hall to work diligently, view those memorials, when Jiang Da Zhuang appears. And he's like, is this a dream? And then we finally get the revelation of his first name, Xing, Jiang Xing. And Lin Qingyu panics. He's like, oh, why are you here? What? Why are you here? You shouldn't be here. Okay. You said a punctuation mark. So, yeah. When we move to chapter 101, oh, I need a grape. When we move to chapter 101, Jiang Bro, Jiang Xing, sees Lin Qingyu cry for the first freaking time. He sees him cry. He hadn't seen him cry any other time. Not when he was saying bye to Gufu Joe. This is his first time seeing him cry. And that's really, really sad. So we have him trying to comfort Lin Qingyu, saying like, "Oh, you're just seeing me because you missed me." He's like, "Don't worry, like there's no problem. You just miss me, so that's why I'm here. You don't like my original body. What are we doing here?" And so the question is, but why did you come and not Gufu Joe? If I missed Gufu Joe, like if I missed you, I would see Gufu Joe because Gufu Joe is still alive, and that's the person that I've been seeing. That's the man that I married. So that's who should be in front of me. And it even says Ling Qingyu couldn't ask that question. If he didn't ask, it didn't happen, he didn't believe. So he's not even going to ask, are you dead? Did Gufu Joe die? So they move forward, and he's still trying to comfort him and everything, and talking about his original form. And Jiang Xing, he's like, I'm gonna remember your original form this time. And Jiang Xing is like, no, 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 forget it. It's good to forget. And Qingyu spazzes. He's like, no, it's not. It's not good at all. I need to remember you. I can't forget the way that you look like, okay? And eventually we get to a point where it says only Jiang Xing's original body made him fall in love at first sight. Like you were the only man he has ever seen, and immediately was just like, wow, you stole his breath. And he couldn't even remember what you looked like the first time. He's desperate to remember you this time. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200. Do not make Poison Master cry. Right? Yes, and to see such a reserved person cry, if he wasn't such a reserved person, this wouldn't hit so hard. Yeah. Yeah. And so he's like, no, I forgot last time. I'm going to remember this time. And he's just like, oh, that's just because last time I didn't stay long enough. Okay, sure. So he says that he'll stay with him this time. Blah, blah, snore. Sure. But you're not staying. Um, and so he's like, I'll stay with you a whole day. And he says that common phrase again, if we miss an hour or even a minute, then we can't call it a whole day. And so in this dream, Qingyu is like, I want to invite you again. Don't reject me again. Like, let's do it now. Also, I just wanted to point out on page 311 because apparently it's important for us to know that Jiang Xing's tongue is not small. Okay, just putting it out there. So they're getting together, and as much as I want to be like, yay, I can't. I can't because it's a dream. And it's a dream specifically with Jiang Xing, not Gufu Zhou. And so they're having sex. Xingyu is crying. And Jiang Xing is like, please don't cry. Like, if you keep crying, I'm going to doubt myself and I'm going to get soft. And Xingyu is like, bruh, you're so hard. Like, you're not just hard, you're hard, hard. And he's like, how can you tell? And he says, I can feel you inside me. It's like, how can I tell, sir? Are we not having sex right now? Mm. So then we're blessed with a beautiful picture. How can you tell? I don't know. Maybe it's because that thing is inside. Beautiful. Let's go back though. The tear. Crying probably because it hurts. Crying because he knows what this means. Even if he won't ask the question, he knows why Jiang Xing is here. And so they have their sex. And Jiang Xing is the one who ends up crying. And he's saying sorry. But even when um, Xingyu asks why he's crying, he doesn't say. He just says he's sorry. And we know why he's saying it. Because he didn't keep his promise. Because he died on the battlefield. And so then we have Xingyu gets mad at him because sun is up. It's time for him to go. And he's pissed. And he's like, how many more times will you lie to me? This hurt. Like reading this part hurt, especially at the end of the chapter when he was like, this is my last time, Xingyu. He was like, last time? Was this the end? No, he wanted to stay. He wanted to stay here with Jiang Xing. Jiang Xing had promised him. He had promised. And then he yells his name out. And I just felt so hurt for him. And then, of course, he woke up from that dream alone with all the memorials. And it said he remembered every word Jiang Xing had spoken and every moment he'd made, but he couldn't remember his face. Even after saying, I am going to remember, I have to remember your face, he doesn't even get that luxury. And that freaking hurts, man. Because like that's so freaking important for him. And then of course, in the nearby palace at the same time in Xingqing Palace, Xiao Li suddenly opened his eyes. So my note just says, shit. This 1.5 pages sent me through a roller coaster of emotions. Because it's like, on one hand, I was like, oh my gosh, like he's seeing him in the dream. That's so sad because that means Gufujo is dead. Oh my gosh, it's so silly. I mean, so nice because he's trying to comfort him. Oh, and then, he's like, let's spend the whole time together. And then, oh my gosh, they're having sex. So yay. But then, oh no, like, oh yes, his tongue isn't small. Haha, that's really, really funny. But then, oh my gosh, no, he's crying and we know why he's crying aside from the fact that it hurts. And then haha, it's so funny because he's like I'll get soft. And then he's like, oh no, you're lying. You're so excited. How can you tell? I can feel you inside me. It's like, ha ha ha, that's so funny. And then he's crying, Jiangxing, and we're like, oh, sorry, I died on you. And it's like, how many times are you gonna keep lying to me? And we're so sad. We're so sad. And then it's like, this is just a dream. And then he wakes up. And then Xiao Li wakes up. Why are you trying to make me feel good and bad at the same time in one little short chapter? Why are you giving me moments to laugh and moments to be like, ah, he said he could feel you inside him. But at the same time, I don't know. This chapter was a bit too much. I did not like this. Yeah, we get to see Jung finally feeling like he's 17 and going through so much. Yeah, and the crazy thing, yeah, he's going to be 17, but what in his real life at this, like, if he was still in the future, I think what he would probably be like 19 by now. Because he turned 18 when he was Wancheng, and then, but he stayed with Qingyu. I think they stayed together as Gufuzhou and Qingyu for like a year, so that would be 19. And then he was off to war for a year, so 20. It would have been 20, I think. Right? I did not like that roller coaster. Who did I ask to get on that roller coaster? Okay, maybe technically I did because I read the book, but like I didn't ask for that. So when we move to chapter you said 19. I don't know. I think it would be 20 cuz he turned 18 when he was still Wan Chung, and then when he came as Gufu Zhou, they spent a whole year together, and then there was a year off at war. So yeah, I think he would be 20. Um well, Qingyu was 20 like forever ago. Right? So, um, chapter 102, we have Jiangxing realizing he's alive again, right? And he's like, oh my gosh, I hope I'm in Great U. Where the hell am I? Please let me be in Great U. Like, please let me be where I need to be, where my honey love pie is. And so while he's trying to figure it out, he realizes that in this body he's in, that it feels inexplicably right, as if he'd returned to his own soul. Very nice. Yes. So as he keeps going, he has this thought that flashes in his mind, and he's like, what um if it wasn't, oh yeah, he's like, if he's not in Great U, is there a chance that he could go like die again? If he could be in Great U if he died again. And I was not liking where that was going. I'm gonna be 100% honest, because I was like, at this point, like the two lovers, they don't want to be star-crossed lovers or whatever. They need to be together. And so this man is like, if I'm not in Great U, like, just even having the line of thought of, if I die again, could I get to Great U? Very concerning. But we go on, don't we? Yes, we go on. So at first he's thinking he's Xiao Jie, right? And he gets up, he's running out the room in his night clothes. Auntie Xiu Jiao sees him and is like, oh my gosh, I've never seen him like this before. What's going on with him? And all the maids, the eunuchs, the guards, they're blocking his way. And then he finally gets to see his face in a reflection, and he's like, this isn't Xiao Jie, but I saw the emperor's robes and stuff. Like, hold on, what are we doing? Right? Let's not Romeo and Juliet. Dude is desperate. And so he's like, hold up, who am I exactly? And then he tries to talk, but he can't, which sucks. And he's like, hold on, when did Xiao Li become a mute? What are we doing here? Like, huh? Why can't I speak? And so he eventually still gets past. He rushes to Qinjiang Hall, and he does not see Lin Qingyu. So then he's trying to write, right? He's like, okay, I gotta do something. Like, he's frantic. And Xiao Songze, Xiao Songzi for the win. Let's just take a moment to acknowledge Xiao Songzi from the beginning of even volume 2, I believe. Xiao Songzi has been great because he's like, wait a minute, you want Ling Qingyu, don't you? I was like, you know what, Xiao Songzi, what do you want for your birthday? I'm gonna give it to you. Whatever it is, I'm gonna give it to you. Okay? Because it says like, yeah, like he literally just had an epiphany. You go, you go. I'll give you whatever you want for your birthday. So then they summon the preceptor and he kicks everyone out. And Jiang Xing reveals himself and he's like, ah, you're back again. God just keeps coming back, but it looks like you found a suitable body this time. And so, um, since Xiao Li has never spoken, that's why he can't talk yet. That's something he clarifies right off the bat. He's like, no, you're not mute. You don't have some disability. You just, like, you haven't spoken. So that's a muscle you've got to work. And Jiang Xing wants him to let Qingyu know that he's alive. And he's like, go do it now. And he's like, I can do that, but he probably won't believe me. And so he's like, give me some proof. My book, when it says proof, short hair. I was like, just cut your hair. But I was like, wait, I guess taking the hair to him won't count. But I put, hey, just cut your hair, you know? So um we move forward. And where was I? Yes. So he gives him the code, the old code. If I change, if you remain the same, but he says the final part of it, which no one had ever said, no one had ever figured out, right? So then we move on to chapter 103. Also, really quickly, I had a random thought, and I know that I had a note in one of these chapters that we have to go back to at some point. Don't mind me, y'all. Oh, no, that's not that important. Okay. So then we move on to the next chapter. Yes, scissors, cut. So we move on to chapter 103. And the preceptor tells him, like, hey, you gotta stay in character, though. You have to be Xiao Li. Like, you can't just suddenly turn on you. And so he's like, oh, it should be easy to play an idiot, basically. Again, though, Xiao Songzi for the win. Why do we give Xiao Song to the win? Because we have the Empress Dowager. She comes. She's so happy to see her son is finally awake, if you will, if he's alive. And Xiao Songza is like, His Majesty seems to want to find Lord Lean, which makes it even this whole thing even easier. She's like, okay, go get him, bring him here. Yes, let's go get him right away. And he's like, good. He could always trust Xiao Songze. So again, Xiao Songze, what do you want for your birthday? I don't celebrate holidays, but what do you want for Christmas? Okay, like I'm gonna give you everything that you want because you are doing the right thing. So, you so late you lost track of time while working. Oh, that's okay, Suki. That's no problem. Um, Also, Meg, don't you have to leave soon? Um, so the Empress Dowager, she's happy that he's responding, right? And that he's seeing the real world around him and everything. And I'm happy for the Empress Dowager. I can only imagine what that would feel like for me. You know, she's like, so does this mean that the affliction to his soul is beginning to heal? You know, I've been hoping for this day for so many freaking years. Um, she's just overjoyed, you know? And so at home, Qingyu, he goes home. Yuan Yin can't see anything wrong. No one can see anything is wrong. You'll rewatch. Okay. Have fun. And so he's at home and then he's looking for a box of letters, having forgotten where they were. And Huan was like, he, he has an eidetic memory. He would know where the boxes were. Wait, the box? You don't know where it is? Okay, that's weird. Anyway, he's looking at these and he's like, he promised me he wouldn't have lied to me. And Huan Tong is like, what? What are you talking about? And he was like, a dream, only a dream. How dare he lie to me? And he's spazzing. He's losing it. He's grieving. Okay. And Huan Tong is so freaking confused. And then he was looking at one of the letters where Jiangxing was like, I want you to eat well, sleep well, all of those things. And so Qingyu sees food on the table and he just like starts stuffing himself. And yeah, I don't know. It's such a sad sight. And it's even sadder that the people around him don't even know that he is grieving the loss of his husband because the news has not been retrieved yet. And so then of course, they come and they're like, letter from the palace. They want you to come. You guys are saying bye. Oh, I think it's because you said you'll rewatch. So we were all assuming that like you were leaving. If you're not leaving, then cool. Sorry. Um, that pisses me off. I'm not gonna look at that right now. So yeah, um, he's spiraling. Yeah, the spiral was intense. Stabs you and rubs it in. Yes, welcome. If you're not leaving, when you said I'll rewatch, my brain was just like, "Oh, you're leaving. Okay, bye." And so Yuan gives him the letter, and he sees the code, and he's like, "Oh, we're going to the palace." Okay, okay. And he's like, it has to be you. Please let it be you. Like, just please, 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 please. And so he gets to the palace and he is literally running, you guys. He is tripping over himself. Have we ever seen him with such a loss of composure before? No, but he's desperate. And he has just like the amount of emotions he went through in in his dream, already knowing that his husband is dead, and then waking up from that dream of being with him and realizing, he's alone, that Gufujo's not coming back, having to grieve that by himself with no one else knowing just yet, going to look at the letters, and then seeing this code. That's too much. Like when we get to the part, I understand. So he gets the code and he's running and he's tripping and he's like, oh my gosh. And then he sees the Emperor and he manages to at least get out Xing Yu. Clearly, he had been practicing and trying really hard so he could say this one thing. And then he's got all of his little notes and everything. He's like, it's me, I'm Jiang Xing, I'm back. I'm not a playboy, which was very funny. He was like, I didn't screw you and then leave. Like, I'm here. I missed you. I really like you. I love you. Look at Yu's face. It's like tentative hope. Like, is it really him? He's so beautiful, by the way. Oh my gosh. Sometimes he gives Lanjo a run for his money when I look at him, but Lanjo's still number one on the face card. So they have reunited, but Yang Xing can't really talk. So then when we get to chapter 104, and we see Lin Qingyu crying and laughing because it's Yang Xing. It's really him. Like, he knows it's him. And it's just verified that, yeah, Gu Fuzhou died. Lu Wancheng died. Jiang Xing is right in front of him, but he is crying and he is laughing. And he is having all these feelings of love and hate just like swelling up in him. And he is too much. It's too much. And meanwhile, even though he's really pretty, Jiang Xing is like, okay, like, I can't let him, like, he's losing his mind. How am I supposed to comfort him though? Like, I can't even speak, and my papers are scattered all over the place. And they get close, he has them, but they don't even get to, like, Qingyu, he faints because it's way too much for his brain and his heart to hold all of that. Like, the grief and the joy and the anger, it's it's too much. Hysteria. Mm-hmm. Nah, it's grief, fear relief. Yeah. And I would just, if I were in that circumstance, I'd just be like, is this real? Am I tripping? Like, should I be happy? Is it really you here? Or should I cry? Because, like, am I mourning or am I celebrating? Am I relieved or am I pissed? Like, what are we doing? I don't know what to do. Okay. I would probably faint too. I would faint. Right. See what I just, yes, I would faint. I would faint. I wouldn't know what to do. And so Jiang Xing ends up putting him in the emperor's bed, which the empress dowager sees, and she's like, okay, that's a bit inappropriate. Okay, well, I guess he's there for now. We can't do that, but okay, but we just have to do it for now. And so Jiang Xing is finally realizing, after that, they're calling Imperial Physician Chu, and he's basically just like, what has happened that has caused him to have such intense grief and then joy, and of course the preceptor's like, I don't know. Who knows? And so Jiang Xing realizes that perhaps the one left behind was the one who hurt the most. You think? You think? Right? You can't have a married man, Xiaoli. And so, yeah, again, roller coaster, like we said from before. So the Empress Dowager, with Lin Qingyu being out, she has to do the work, which she really hates. She was doing just fine letting Lin Qingyu run the country, which is, I think is hilarious. So she's doing the work. Jiang Xing was about to get in bed with Lin Qingyu after he realized he was so cold. Auntie Xiujia was like, whoa, hold on. Let's slow it down a little bit, please. Okay. This is inappropriate. Okay. You can't do that, Xiaoli. You're the emperor, but you can't do that. And so, um, I would say, like, no, thank God. Not thank God for, but no, thank God for Auntie Xiujia, because we wanted them to we wanted him to hold on to Lin Qingyu, but whatever, fine. Interrupt the moment, if you will. Um, and so eventually Qingyu, he wakes up shortly after that, and he tells Jiang Xing about everything that has happened since he's been gone, all the things that he has done. And then Qingyu, he says on page 339, but even I can't take it. Because he was like, "Are you Xiaoli or are you Jiangxing? Like, which one are you? Why do you torture me like this? Because I like you. Because you know, no matter what, I'm not gonna go kill myself about this." He's like, "I can't take this. I can't. Even I can't. Like, I really cannot." And so, yeah, Jiangxing expresses, well, he writes, expresses that like his muteness is temporary. He'll be able to speak again eventually. He's complaining about his abs, but he's talking about his tongue and how great it is. So yeah, then Qingyu is like, how did Guhujo die? And Jiangxing is like, in battle, in battle. That's all we need to know, right? You know, in battle. So Qingyu doesn't want Jiangbro to go anywhere. Like he doesn't want him to leave his side, period. He wants to see him at every possible waking moment. Um, and then we have on page 340 where, he has to go away. And Chingy is like, "Are you going to come back? When we come back, I don't want you to go away, but you have to. Okay, well, I need guarantee that you will come back." And then eventually he's like, "Am I acting strangely right now?" He's like, "I can't control it, these emotions." And of course, Jiang Xing is really like, "I don't want you to control it. I want you to lose your composure and just have your real feelings show." And so I wrote, "No, this is a normal response to an abnormal circumstance." And that is something that my therapist said to me very often when I first started getting therapy in what was it, 2023? Hold on. I have a sticker that tells me the very first time I started counseling and therapy because they're different. Okay, the first time I started counseling was March the 2nd of 2023, and then I started therapy in May. So, of 2023. My therapist had to tell me that multiple times that because I would, like, in my grief and sorrow of certain things, I'm eh, like, I don't know, something wrong with my response. Like, this is weird for me to be like this, right? And she's like, "No, it's a very normal response to an abnormal situation." Very abnormal. Because how do we grieve and get back the same person? Like, we don't do that. That just is that doesn't happen. So when we move to chapter 105, we have Lin Qingyu is needing recovery time, physical recovery time, but honestly also mental recovery time. And Xu Junyuan is being the one that's helping them to get their private time together, so that Jiangxing can be by his side and take care of him. And sometimes Qingyu is literally so lost and confused that he's kind of like, "Wait, what was I talking about? What was I doing?" And I'm not gonna lie, like that hurts, y'all. It hurts so bad for someone who is always so quick on his toes and like just always on it mentally, thinking ahead, someone who is so calm and composed. Now his brain has been broken to the point of him being like, "What was I saying?" Oh my gosh. So after Lin Qingyu talked about all that he did, um, Young bro is like, "I don't want us to talk about it anymore. Let's talk about how we consummated our marriage." Okay, yeah. And so he's like, "How did it feel?" And Chinkyu said it hurt a lot, but it was fine because it was with him. So we move forward, and 344. He's suffering so badly. Yeah. And the thing is, I mean, he has his time to recover, but he's not a regular person. So he doesn't get to not get better fast. She's got a country to run, basically. So on page 344, um, well, I think it was Jiangxing was trying to kiss him, and he's like, "Oh." And so we get to this point on 344 where he's basically like, "I just don't think I'm used to your current body." you know? And he's like, but this is similar to my normal one. And I think this is a real, like the paragraph here, I think is a beautiful explanation of everything for Qingyu because basically he did not know Luan Chung. He did not know Gufujo before. He just met them basically. Well, he met Luan Chung when they got married, right? And then the guy transmigrated into Gufujo and then boom, so Xiao Li was someone that he knew, though, someone that he had fed repeatedly, someone that he has been around. He has checked his pulse and all of that stuff. And so he's like, to kiss you, it just feels weird. This might be your original form, but it's feeling really weird to me. And he's like, but I'm gonna try. Okay, I'm gonna try to do my best to get over it. I won't kiss me again. Okay, I won't shy away this time. Okay, cool. And so, Jiangxing, he kisses him on the side of his lips first, but he's a little saddened by this because even though Ling Qingyu can't control his emotions, he's still trying to, instead of just being like he normally would in the past and just letting all of it out, like Huan Tong stepped on my goo. It's like he's holding back some of that, and it's totally understandable. So then we get to a point where the Empress Dowager, she's tired of ruling the country, the nation, and she mentioned Gufu Zhou and Yongliang to Lin Qingyu because she really wants him to get better. It hurts because this happens in real life when you see someone you are close to not act like themselves after a tragic thing. Yeah, grief does that. A friend described it as a gray void that consumes everything and drains color and life from everything you see and feel. Pretty much. Yeah. I think that's how I felt in 2023 when everything happened. I was just like, what is life? Everything was gray. I was like, I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like people talk about the light at the end of the tunnel, meaning you're in the dark and there's the light there. Like I couldn't even see it. I was like, it's just dark around me. I don't even feel like I'm getting closer to the light. What are we doing? And so, anyway, she mentions Gu Fuzhou and Yong Liang. And to keep her from continuing to talk about it, because of course this is not what Lin Qingyu needs, Jiang Xing or Xiao Li is like, mother, immediately derails her. Very good, my guy, because that's all she ever wanted. Just call me mother. And so, of course, she's crying and, oh my God, he called me mother. Oh my God, this is the best thing in the entire world. Completely derailed her. And Qingyu, we move forward to another scene then where Qingyu is looking into a mirror and he is scolding himself for not being happy that Jiang Xing is back, scolding himself for living in fear and brooding and bruh and all of these things. And he's like, do you want to become someone you despise? Like you literally are acting like Xiao Jie. Like you're all in your feelings and everything. Get it together. And so he takes his hairpin and he hurts himself, his hand, basically. And he's like, oh, I felt that. That's real. Okay, I'm awake. This is real. And Jiang Xing, he can already see that this is what this is. And so, let me make sure I'm not skipping my notes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so what Jiang Xing does, which I told you to do it in the last chapter, or maybe it was the chapter before, he gets the scissors and he just cuts his hair. And I was like, bro, didn't I tell you to do that on on page 323? I told you I told you to cut your hair. Hold on. I only have memories of my room and work because that's where I was after my dad passed. That was it. I told my mom if I die, and can go into a story. I don't want to be a concubine or unrule, even in general. Hmm. How can you not be constantly terrified after losing him so many times? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. I agree with everyone else giving you hugs. Um, and so he cuts his hair, and that was exactly what he needed to do. All he had to do was listen to me about 25 pages ago. But he cuts his hair, and it says that Lin Qingyu had felt for several days as though he was in a trance. But now Jiang Xing's return finally became real to him, and the sounds by his ears finally became distinct. And yeah, my note says, yep, told you. And just cut your hair as proof. That's what he needed, because it really opened his eyes to, oh, this was the man from my dreams. This is Jiang Xing. And I just rhymed. It's like, it really is you. And I love the look in both of their eyes. You know what I don't like though? I don't like this. And you want to know why I don't like it? Because this. I didn't like the swirlies. The swirlies meant dream. I was like, no, take away the swirlies. Take it away, because this is real. He's here. So I'm just being extra. So anyway, he believes now. And then before Qingyu goes to handle business, he binds Jiang Xing's wrists together and tells him to stay put. Stay. So that's how that chapter ends. Mm, swirlies are a harp sound equivalent. The swirlies gave me trauma. Right? I'm like, swirlies? Does this mean this is a dream? Actually, before I started reading this volume, I actually flipped through all of the pictures. And when I saw the swirlies from their sex scene and the swirlies from this, I was like, what are these? And I was like, maybe these are like dreamlike thingies. So yeah, dream. Question. How long did it take for Shen Chao to completely cure his vision and body in Thousand Autumns? I'm working on a fic. Hmm, years? Mm. I love Thousand Autumns, but and I've read it several times, but I don't remember that. Um, if you're writing a fic, you can make up your own amount of time. Is all I will say. But it definitely took some time. Took a lot of time. Yeah. Um, Technically, it might be because Chingu is waking from a dream slash nightmare in that scene. He said many. Is that in response to me saying years? How long did it take? Many. Also, hey Meg. So when we moved to, yeah, I don't remember, but I think it was a few years for sure. Yeah. But again, like I said, I personally believe you can make it however many years you want to. Also, why are you so loud? Also, Thousand Autumns fic. Hey, how far along are you? How long is it going to be, if you even know? Where is it going to be? Do we get access to this fan fiction? Okay. I don't know why I did all those movements, but as you can see, that was me trying to like cajole you into giving more details. So, hmm, yeah, it's basically through the entire story. I just don't know like how much time actually passed, right? I have no clue. So, you want to draw more of Chingyu tying up, please? Please, please. You said more? Poppy flower. Really? Sorry. 1 second. Just let us derail for a moment. Archive of our own. Remember me. Bring. Thousand autumns. Monkey sure. Search. I found it. You've got 5 chapters. Roly poly coly. Can I put the link in the description? I mean, you said the name of it, so I imagine I can. I imagine I can. I'm just gonna sit it here until you say yes. So 5 chapters so far. Not great editing. IDK how long? Okay, cool. Yes, more. Where have I been the past couple weeks? I don't know. Where you been? Where have you been? I didn't know you were missing. If you've been missing, I feel like a bad mother. You found the art. Oh, okay. So, sorry. When we move to chapter 106, we are finally back in Qingyang Hall with Lin Qingyu. And Lord Li thinks that Qingyu should be appointed prime minister. And Qingyu is just like, worry about yourself. I have my own plans. So, on page 353, we have he's tired, right, of the meeting. I think after 2 hours, he's like, okay, we're done for today. Thank you. So then he gets back and it says, Jiang Xing is like, oh, I waited for so long. I'm sorry, for so long. And he's like, in the entire world, only Jiang Xing could have been lazy enough to annoy Lin Qingyu, yet still have the power to make Lin Qingyu willingly indulge him. And I just think that is the most accurate summation of their entire relationship. I just think that's perfectly accurate. So then we have him like, okay, can you untie this knot? And he's like, nope. Now that I'm a little bit more sober minded and less in my grief, how about you tell me for real how Gufu Joe died? Tell me that. And he's like, freak. Should have seen this coming. So what he does is he writes it out. He has to be released so that he can write it out. And yeah, Chingu is pissed because he's like, "Oh, so you didn't take your vow with me seriously at all because you use yourself as bait." See now, I'm surprised it didn't say I'm so Chingu was so pissed off that he wanted to poison him. Honestly, I'm surprised it wasn't there. Like he was just like, "Okay, I'm pissed off at you. I'm very, very upset with you." And he was like, hey, that's unfair. And he was like, if you really took it seriously, how did you let yourself put yourself in this circumstance? And so instead of trying to get him to understand, like I in the moment I developed a relationship with these soldiers, I watched them die, this and this and that. He's like, he's not gonna understand. 我错了,对不起, I was wrong. I'm sorry. Next time I won't. Next time, first off, he was like, I won't do it again. I'm sorry. And so he was like, when you made that promise, I believed you. And then what happened? He was like, you know what? I'm not going to believe you anymore. I'm going to rely on myself. You cannot leave my sight. You cannot go anywhere without me being there. I will see you 24/7. Okay. I will tie you up if I have to. I will chain your left arm to my right arm if I have to. Because we're not doing this anymore. I can't trust you. You can't go to war. You can't do anything else but be right next to me. And I'm all here for possessive Lin Qingyu. This is not where I thought the story was going. but I'm glad it did because I think it's perfect. Your wife is always right, right? Yes. Of all the warnings you guys are giving. It's like I feel Chingy on this one. You can't leave. I don't care where you go, what you're doing. If you have to go poop, I'm there. I'm just gonna have to cover my nose. This is all we're doing. You can't go anywhere without me anymore. So of course, we switch forward. Young Bro, he did a bad cut job on his hair, by the way. So he gets the scissors and he fixes it up a little bit more. And then we skip to the next scene where the Empress Dowager is so excited and she's teaching her son. You know, she's like, "My dear beloved son, you have to use the royal we. Come on, say we." And he's like, "Chingyu, please save me." And Chingyu is just like, "Remember that promise you didn't take seriously? Deal with it." So he has no choice but to go along and let his mother teach him. And so, of course, the other thing she does is she tells Xiao Li, Jiangxing, that once Gu Fuzhou returns, you basically need to let Ling Qingyu go. He's a married man and he's married to Great General Gu. Okay? So you can't do this. But then Shan Huaishu is back and Shan Huaishu looks awful. That's how that chapter ends. Mm, I know Qingyu is traumatized, but Qingyu being kind of yandere and possessive is kind of hot. It's very hot. Lock him up, Qingyu. Please do. Oh, that was to reading the fic. You need thoughts on the fic to help keep you on track. Mm. I love the mom moments. And I think it'll be good for him too, because, he lost his mother by transmigrating into this world. And even though he complained about her making him do this and making him do that, I think obviously, it was still a good relationship. He still loved her. And so for him to have a mother figure in the Empress Dowager, I think is something that can be very beautiful. I don't know what happens in volume 4, if we'll even really get lots of moments with her, but I imagine we'll get some, even if it's not like her and Jiangxing alone, but them all having a family moment. I think that would be really good for him. So I'm excited, even though right now he's like, save me. So then we move to chapter 107. 107. And Shan Huaishu is telling the details on Gofu Joe's death. Actually, he told them at the end of the previous volume that he's died in battle, and Lin Qingyu just says, "I see," and Shan Huaishu is like, "Huh? I see." Uh, uh, okay, that's how we respond. So then it goes into this whole little paragraph, which I believe is from Shan Huaishu's point of view, and he's like, "Gufu did all he did to marry Gufu did all he could to marry Xingyu. He has been caring for him so much. We've all witnessed the love and care they have going on and everything. But why, after hearing this news, is Lin Xingyu responding this way? Like, what the heck are we doing right now? Just, I see." And even other people around are crying, like Xiao Songsa. And so everybody else besides Jiangxing and Lin Qingyu were just like crying and everything. And when they heard Lin Qingyu respond this way, um, no one knew what to think. And Shen Huaishu's eyes widened. Um, and so in this, first of all, my note says, he already reacted. Y'all just didn't get to see that. Second of all, everyone's response is different in grief. So like they don't know that Jiangxing, who is in Gufujo, is back. But so with that non-added knowledge, everyone's grief is different. Just because he does not break down in person does not mean that he is not affected, and everybody knows Lin Qingyu is cold and aloof and very composed. So what, you just suddenly expect him to break down and lose his mind and everything? Okay, sure. So we move forward, and it says, even like I said, Lin Qingyu never showed his vulnerable side to others, except Jiangxing. Y'all have never seen him lose composure. So let his reaction be what it be. You don't know why his reaction is the way that it is, but it could count as grief. Are we saying bye to Suki? Oh, have fun with your guests. Um, there's a plague of. See that bug again. Have fun with your guests. This wasn't on the work calendar. No. Right, disassociation is a thing, y'all. Not that they knew that back in the day, but whatever. So then we have Shen Fleischer going into detail about what happened and everything. And then he says, Great General Gu couldn't hold out until they arrived, and he was. Jiang Xing interrupts him, and he's like, Mother, hungry. And my note says, Deliberate interruption? Hmm? Why don't you want to let him keep talking? Hmm? So we move forward, and I also wanted to know what in the world did Jiang Xing actually write on paper when he told Lin Qingyu what happened to him. Hmm? So anyway, we move forward, and yeah, I actually have great respect for the Empress Dowager, despite how things started in the beginning, because she says something that to me shows a level of maturity. Even though she was still like, show us, basically. She said, if you feel sorrow, don't hold it in. Be careful of your health. And I just appreciate that because where Shen Sure is looking like, why is Tingyu responding this way? Like, immediately thinking like, oh, clearly there's an issue. The Empress Dowager is just thinking like he probably is grieving and it's just on the inside and we're not seeing it. And so I appreciate that she wasn't just like, "Ah, this isn't the appropriate response of someone who has just lost their spouse," or even thinking, oh my gosh, this is exactly how he was when Luan Chung died. Like she was like, she's like, no, if you're grieving, don't hold it in. Be careful about your health. And so I appreciate her response, not coming from a judgmental place, but coming from a place of care and concern. And like, hey, if you are grieving, it's okay to let it out. Like, you don't have to keep this composure for us if that's what you're doing. So I appreciate that, because he was like, I'm going to handle the funeral. And I think she was like, okay, let yourself like grieve. It's okay, sweetie pie. Um, he probably watered it down a lot. Love how the Empress cares so much for Chingu. Yeah. And I think it's been mentioned before. I mean, not I think. It's been mentioned a couple of times that maybe she was just being so nice to him because of, him helping Xiao Li, or maybe it's because they have the same goals. But honestly, I just think they've spent so much time together that it's only natural. And they already had established you know, she established something for him before from having married Luan Chong. So I think there's a part of her that genuinely cares. Um, Repression emotions can cause memory loss. Yeah, yeah. I could believe that because I don't remember most of my childhood. But I felt like I wasn't really allowed to have certain emotions. So like I don't it's just a big blank. I'm like, do I remember when I was 10? Uh-uh. Do I remember what happened when I was 15? Uh-uh. I remember some things, but most of my life is, I don't know, a blur. So then at the bottom of that page, Chingu is like, why didn't you let Shun Sure finish talking? What you hiding? Hmm? And so Jiang Xing is like, oh, it was nothing. I was actually really, really hungry. He's like, okay, sure. He's like, if you don't believe me, you can, tell Shun Sure, I mean, call Shun Sure and verify, like, I was just really hungry. Okay, sure. Sure, sure, sure. So we move forward. And Jiangxing decided to play out how he died, or the end of how he died, not the full thing. I don't know what it is with this guy in role playing. I actually was kind of upset at first when he started to role play this, but it made Chingyu laugh, so I let it alone. I was like, okay, never mind. You did the right thing. Clearly, you know Lin Chingyu better than I do. Not for him to act it out and just be like, um, yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was weird but funny because it cheered up Lin Chingyu a little bit, so it was fine. Then we have Qingyu still summoning Shen Huaisha anyway. And it's noted the gentle look that Lin Qingyu had in his eyes toward the emperor. This is what Shen Huaisha saw. And that was a look that he only saw ever reserved for Gu Fu Zhou. So he's just kind of, again, building his reserve of anger that builds up that we know comes. And so um, when they're talking, and Shen Huaisha tells how everything happened, and it says, since he, Qingyu says, since he'd made a promise to me, he desperately wanted to live. Still, he didn't come home. So I'll still hold him responsible and feel anger toward him. I'll resent him all my life. And Qingyu was upset. I mean, Shen Huaisha was upset about this behavior. About, he thought that Lin Qingyu would be different with Gu Fu Zhou, and he guesses he was wrong. And I'm like, Shanfai, sure, who the, like, what are you, you're so ignorant. He does treat Gufujo differently. Like, also, appropriate, normal response for a human to have at the loss of a loved one who promised that they would come back and that loved one did not come back. I think it is very fair for him to say, like, we know what's really going on. Um, but fair response if he were to resent Gufujo for the rest of his life. And so I get it, Shunhuaisher, but I feel like you're not taking Lin Qingyu's feelings into consideration at all. Like, not even a little bit. It's not a, hold on, what's going on? Like, he didn't even consider any possibility like the Empress Dowager did. He's just immediately like, okay, why is he responding this way? Okay, why is he not treating him different? Why is this? Why is that? And it's just like, okay, you need to go sit down somewhere. Like, clearly, you don't have um wisdom. I don't know if I want to call it wisdom or knowledge or whatever. I mean, you've just been in the palaces of Shadow Guard for a very, very, very long time. But it's just like, let Lin Qingyu do what Lin Qingyu does. Okay. However he does it. Be away as long as Qingyu is happy. Right, for real. That's why I was like, I didn't really like that, but if it was fine with Qingyu, he feels protective of General, right? Here's the ice cracking under Emperor's feet. Shunfasher baby, let the man feel. Right. Let him feel whatever he's feeling. And so then we have Shunfasher. He's like mad, can't take it anymore. And so he says, how can you speak those cruel words when countless arrows pierce the great general's chest, Lord Lean? Lin Qingyu's eyes flew open and he jerked around to stare at Jiang Xing. Oh no, Jiang Xing thought. What did you tell him, Jiang Xing? What did you tell Lin Qingyu about how you died specifically? Because now you're in trouble. Now you just might get poisoned for real. So we move to chapter 108. Brewing couldn't protect him. Spent a lot of time traveling back and forth, dreading telling the news. I think he too reacts normally. Absolutely. I think he reacts normally too. I'm just still mad at him. um he resents himself. Absolutely. But I do appreciate that Chingy was like, "Did you do your best?" Actually, yeah, let's go back there. Because of course he's like, "I failed to follow your orders. I apologize." And he's like, "Did you do your best?" And he didn't even answer the question. He was like, "I only wish I had died in his stead." So definitely he's feeling some self hate right now because he vowed to protect the great general and he failed. He failed. So absolutely. So moving to chapter 108. First note, Qingyu pissed. Pretty much. So then it's time for bed, basically. And hold on. Oh yeah. So it's time for bed. And Qingyu is supposed to leave. But of course, he's been forbidden to go by Jiangxing. And so there's nothing that Auntie Xiujiao can do. She's just like, okay. And she leaves. Meanwhile, this scene was not funny, but it was so funny. When the dude is like, I'm gonna pretend to be Lin Qingyu. And so he's like, Qingqing, you're truly a liar. How much more are you keeping from me? And Qingyu is just like, you're pretending to be me now. And Chingy was like, you said it was quick. And I felt so bad after I read that sentence and then immediately started laughing in the next one because he was like, it was quick. Countless arrows pierced my chest. Did you expect that to be slow? Like, gotta go. Okay. Safe travels on the way to your appointment. Oh my gosh. Countless arrows pierced my chest. Did you expect that to be slow? And I was just like, that's not funny. That's not funny at all. Oh, it's hilarious. And so, so, okay, sorry. Just let me calm down. So, Qingyu questions why Jiangbro always has to be in agony. This is very, very interesting. Like, he was like, oh, you're not mad at me anymore? He's like, I don't have the energy. And then he's just like, why must you always be in agony? You were very sickly when you were Luan Chong, then you're pierced by so many arrows. And Yang Xing's like, it's a great question. Even I don't know why this keeps happening to me, which I would say it just it was a weird like moment after that because it says Qingyu stiffened and his eyes suddenly widened. Embracing him, Jiangxing immediately noticed his odd demeanor. Lowering his head, he asked, "What's wrong?" And then Qingyu says, "Nothing. Can you stay tonight?" So we don't know exactly what flashed in his mind. I mean, we could make guesses and everything, but it's left as nothing after Jiangxing is like, "Why is it always me? I don't think I've done anything bad." Which I think in the future, maybe it's just like, uh, does he have a chat with someone? I don't know. Maybe he's thinking about karmic retribution, or maybe all the bad things that he has done, and maybe that's a result of what happens. Like his husband is the one who faces the the karma, whatever. So maybe that's what he was thinking about. We don't know because it's not given here. So then, anyway, they move on. He sleeps. Well, he lays beside Qingyu until Qingyu is asleep, and then he goes. So eventually, it's time for him to go home. He's got to check on his little goose and do other things, prepare for the general's funeral, and he's leaving. And the first, he's like, "You stay right here." He's like, "Don't worry, I stay right here." And then Qingyu leaves, but he rushes back in because he found the perfect excuse. And he's like, "Didn't you want to see the little goose creatures? They've gotten so big." And I just thought that was adorable and sad because he was like, "Excuse, he can come with me." And so they go. They go. And Qingyu says that Xiao Songza is trustworthy, by the way. And so hopefully that stays true because they're like, hey, if anyone comes to visit the emperor, just say like he's resting or whatever. So I hope that stays true because Xiao Songza has been great thus far, but he is a eunuch. And we all know how eunuchs are, don't we? Anyway, don't you want to see our babies? Right? Look at our babies. They're so cute. So, Hualu and Huantong are there, obviously observing. And Hualu can tell that there is a difference in Qingyu's calmness than before. Because Huantong is like, I mean, that's just how he is, you know? He didn't even cry or anything when Lu Wanchong was passed, when Lu Wanchong passed on. And she's like, no, it's different. I can't put my finger on it, but it's different. She's a very perceptive maid. I like Hualu. So then we move forward and we have page 373, which I have a note on. They're there at the vigil, right? And Jiang Xing wants to kiss him. And he's like, no, we're right in front of Gu Fuzhou's vigil. Like, what are we doing? And he's like, you want to have an affair with me, Lady Gu? And he's like, your body isn't even 18 yet. Go sit down somewhere. But they end up kissing anyway because Jiang Xing insists. But someone sees it and someone scurries away. And we all know who that someone is. Before we even got to chapter 109, we knew exactly who that someone was. So when we get to chapter 109, we have first off the goo are growing. I just want to say that very nicely. But anyway, we get back to the palace. Xiao Songza is there again, and he's like, summon Shan Huaishe for me. And Xiao Songza's like, why is the emperor talking like this? Like he was just dopey dopey the other day, and now he's like, blah blah blah. So he was like, has he just like fully recovered and suddenly he's like the most intelligent man? What is happening here? Why is this in the comments section? Oxy, I'm kicking you out of Discord. That is your punishment. I'm not looking at the chat until I feel like possibly enough chats have been entered into the comment section to where I don't see the bugs anymore. So let me just expand my OBS screen so I can't see. So if you guys comment things, I can't see for the time being. So Shan Huaishe is summoned back to the palace and tells Xiao Song to say nothing about it, to say nothing about anything he has seen of how the emperor has behaved, all of that stuff. And he's like, okay, cool. Shan Huaishe is pissed. That's the best way I can put it, obviously. However, he is in front of the emperor, so he's like thinking about this dalliance that Lin Qingyu has probably been having since, before General Gu left or whatever's going on. Like, I'm so pissed off at him. But when, the emperor's like, so what? Did you see something tonight? He's like, I didn't see it. I didn't see anything. I have no idea what you're talking about. And so then, Jiang Xing says, it's daybreak. Good. Which was the last thing that General Gu had said. And first off, Shan Huaishe is immediately thinking, oh my gosh, how does the emperor know this? Is there some deeper meaning? To me, deeper meaning. Like, you don't dismiss that. Don't be like, oh, that's just a common expression anyone could say. No, he said it to you. And like, that's just like, it's daybreak. Good. Like, that's just, this is the second time we've seen it in this whole series. Okay. It's not common. Go with your instinct. Go with your instinct. So we move forward and he's like, I asked you a question that you didn't answer and I want to know the answer to it. And Sean Fraser is like, you've literally never spoken in your life until like a couple days ago. He's like, dude, you were mute. What do you mean? And so he's like, tell me. He's like, did you use that pill that my wife gave to you to fake your death? It's daybreak. Good. So he's like, Your Majesty, what are you saying? And he was like, The journey has been hard on you, Huai Sure. And then Shun Huai Sure is just completely like, which is a logical response. So we have to bring the preceptor into the picture, who tells Shun Huai Sure the entire truth. And even if Shun Huai Sure didn't want to believe it, you kind of have no choice but to believe it, right? But then he goes ahead and he's like, You could test me. Test me. And so the names of the two loving, short lived couple is brought up. Okay. He's like, oh, yeah, that was Jiang Shiyue and Lin Lan. I wouldn't know that if I was really just the emperor, if I was really just Xiao Li. So as you can see, it's really me. And I just rhymed a bunch of times. So yeah, then he goes forward and he's like, What were Gufujo's dying words? And he's Shun Huaishu is like, Oh, it was, to save him. He needed to get back to his wife. He was like, Nope. Nope, that's not what he said at all. He said that he didn't want his wife to be a widow for the rest of his life, that he should move on and be happy and get married again because I want my wife to be happy. And Shun Huaishu was like, No, but he didn't say that. And he was like, He could have. In other words, yes, he did. So we go forward, and Gufu Joe's body has finally been returned home, and he's been buried in the royal graveyard. And the spear was given to Qingyu. However, he wants it to be placed in the coffin with the general, um, to accompany him. Because you gotta let him go. Gufu Joe is gone. He will never be Gufu Joe again. And so, just as he bid farewell to Luan Chung, he must bid farewell to Gufu Zhou. From now on, the only person to walk beside him would be Jiang Xing. I'm going to check and see if there have been enough comments. There have been enough comments. Thank you guys. No, Mari, don't go. Don't look at the Oxy. Did I do something to offend you? Are you mad at me? Are you mad at me because we only have 2 books left to read? Is this some vendetta you have against me? I don't appreciate it. So that is the end of this volume. And out of all of them, I would say this is my favorite volume. One thing I love is as we're reading a series, I love it when it gets better and better and better. It's my favorite thing. It's one of the reasons I absolutely loved Peerless up until literally like the end of volume 5. Every book just got better and better and better and better. Because sometimes series, which I think it's easier to control when the shorter they are, but sometimes series can have these highs and lows of like, ooh, this book was really good. Oh, this volume, it was okay. I could have done without it, and back and forth. But I appreciate the consistency of elevating and greatness for these volumes. So wonderful. So many months left to wait. I'm so upset about it because I'm like, I hate it when I have to wait, which is one of the reasons why, like, when I first started, I didn't want to read series that weren't done, even if it was just like 1 or 2 books left, because, like, on me, it's hard because number one, I have to remember what happened. So I have to go back and listen how far back, I choose. But I also have to go back and like remember how I characterized these individuals to try to get that sound back again. And it's just a nuisance. So I'm not happy with the fact that volume 4 is not out yet. Nevertheless, let's go ahead and read the summary for volume 4, which comes out October the 13th. So far away. The third marriage and the final twist of fate. No, I don't want any more twists. No, no. So I guess whatever it is, it's gonna be up here that it says that the third marriage and the final twist of fate. Anyway, Lin Tingyu's late husband Jiang Xing has returned, this time in the body of the new emperor himself. But that powerful role could impede them when it comes to resuming their romance. People throughout the palace, from servants to the Empress Dowager herself, have a close eye on the Emperor and strong convictions about how his reign should unfold. If Jiang Xing insists on remarrying his widow, will he overplay his hand? But the two of them are not destined to stay confined to the world of the court. After all, they've gone through with the cycles of Jiang Xing's death and rebirth. The final challenge may be the most difficult yet. Will their love survive if they're forced to leave the palace behind? Bye. That's what I say to the palace. Bye. Toodaloo. Adios. Is that October? QJJ, wow. When is the last one? August 11th, I believe. Hold on. Let me look at my read along sheet. Yep, August the 11th. So, yeah, we've got to wait on oopsie, 8 complete. Let me just type that in now. Okay. August the 11th for QJJ, which means we will either start reading it, like either I'll start reading it and post up a video that Wednesday or Thursday, or we would wait until like that weekend and start the first read together live. Haven't figured that out because we're just not there yet. It just depends on life and what's happening, yada yada yada. So I don't know. How many chapters are left in the main story? I guess we'll have extras in volume 4. I don't know. Cause wasn't it, hold on. Chrysanthemum Garden. Am I still logged in? Yes, I am. So we just got through chapter 109. It goes to chapter 149. I don't see anything about extras. So I don't know if there are 149 chapters and then some extras, or if they just didn't title these chapters extras. So we have 40 chapters left. October is a lucky month. Oh, I don't know. I don't want to wait until October. I'm sorry. We all have to. Or, I mean, technically you don't have to. You could read it on Chrysanthemum Garden. It just wouldn't be the official translation, which, you know, I'm not getting salted fish until last day on, I don't know how to pronounce that. Asu? Asu? I don't know. Extras are awesome. I can't wait to get to them. You just saw QJJ Volume 8 cover. Oh, yes, it's beautiful. You think the extras aren't separate in Salted Fish? So there are no extras then. Next volume would be Chunky. Yeah, if the story's still continuing with like what it just said there, which I imagine, yeah, like the story doesn't just end with that. We would need a little bit more. So, but yeah, I guess it would probably be a little thick. We'll see. You don't know if that was a choice. Until last one is out, Hassan's premature space enters. Yeah, I guess we'll have to see. All I know is that I want it. I want it to be here really, really bad. So all we have left is volume 4 of Salted Fish and volume 8 of QJJ. And then we move on with our lives and people re-listen as much as they want. So, update. We, and by we I mean me, Cookie, and Kuro-san, at least I think, Kuro, have you started? are reading Twin Jades of Jiangdong together. I was not able to read it yesterday or the day before, but I need to get back into it before I first start forgetting things. Um, at first, I opened up a sheet because when I'm taking extensive notes, like you guys, when I took my notes for you, I opened up a Google Doc so that I could just like voice chat things in as I was reading. I still took like notes and stuff and put them in the book, but to make my notes as thorough as possible, since we were doing volume book reviews and then the biggest review at the very end, I opened a Google Doc to take lots of notes. Like it's 50 pages long or whatever. And remember, I had said maybe I'll still do book reviews, whether it's on Danmei or non Danmei books on this channel, just because, it would be cool. I started reading Twin Jades of Jiangdong, which is not Danmei, even though Seven Seas advertised it as Danmei and put it on the Danmei list. Um, why is everyone calling me? Um, one second. Wait, I'm doing a live session. No, no. 好吧，我爱你。Mm. Okay, so sorry about that. So anyway, reading Twin Jades of Jiangdong, and I started to take my extensive notes as I was reading. And at first, I thought maybe it's just because I was like really, really tired from my sleep deprivation. That is not only because of the thing I mentioned earlier, but just it's just been hard to get to sleep in general. Even before that, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to. I, again, like I mentioned last time, I had to do some deep soul searching and just see how things would go over time, et cetera, et cetera. But as I was reading, I was like taking note after note after note, entering it into the thing, and I was like, I want to enjoy the book. Since it's more than one, I want to enjoy the series and do my standard notes like, oh, that's crazy, or here's my theory, and put it in there without having to be so extra about it. And I'm not saying I don't want to do book reviews, but I'm saying that I don't want to make life more difficult for myself and still consume a lot of my time by making extensive, like taking extensive notes to provide you all with the most thought filled book reviews possible, like I've done with others. So we'll see how it goes. Like, if I do still do a book review, if I think I can adequately give one without taking extensive notes. But I know that doing the hard process, I just can't do that. So I just thought I'd give you guys that update, and I see comments. So let me see what's going on. What I miss? I'm almost done with chapter one of Seven Seas version. How is Twin Jades? I'm gonna talk about it in a second. I haven't decided if I want to pick it up. Only read a few lines. I've been dead this week. Oh, well, please come back to life. Please don't die. Or, well, you're already dead. Please come back to life. You guys need to watch the video. Is it the one that you shared that was really long, that you said you wanted to watch but was really long? um, let's see. Feel better. Thank you. I've never taken notes for a Danmei. I just like taking notes like as I read, but when I started this channel, actually, when I started this channel, I still wasn't taking notes, but it wasn't until I started sharing my thoughts where I started taking more notes because I wanted to, like, after people were basically like, oh my gosh, we love when you share your thoughts at the end, then I guess I set like a requirement for myself and was like, oh my gosh, I have to make sure my thoughts are, like that I can remember them all and put them together. Because at first I was just sharing my thoughts based on whatever I remembered from reading, but I started making things more organized. And then once we got to Yuwu, or even a little bit before though, so I could make my videos on, why I like this series or that series, my notes became a bit more extensive, but especially for you, boo. Like I said, 50-page, I think is more than that, but 50-page document for the entire series, breaking down so many things. And there's a separate pay document for no, 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 that was in the same document. It was a lot. So yeah, I'm just gonna take my time to enjoy it. And if I feel like I have retained enough information to do like a quick book review that's more on the generic side, but still provides you with like a little something, something, then I will do that. And I think that's how I would approach all other series as well. If maybe I can just like think overall how I like the book. I could possibly still keep note of like, okay, who's my favorite character, least favorite, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I'll figure it all out. I just know I don't want to do what my brain was telling me to do because it'll make me tired and I don't want to be tired. Anything that I do from here on out, I really want it to I want to make sure that I'm doing things that I love, but also doing things that I can. Um, I think it's very important for us to do the things in life that we love, but actually not necessarily always, because some people might love doing drugs. Doesn't mean they should be doing them. I think we should do things that are beneficial for us. And I feel like with me trying to focus more on my art, but still be active here, it would not be the best decision for me to like do that hard work of taking extensive notes on top of my other jobs still. So I heard that when you get a little sleepy, your body's nervous system goes into fight or flight, then you end up staying up later, etc. It can greatly affect your health. Yes. Yeah. I kind of just don't have a choice right now. I mean, I'm not voluntarily staying up late. I have anxiety and paranoia. So, like, I just have to get over that and do certain things to get that issue from earlier off, and then we'll be fine. So, do whatever you vibe with, Mari, as long as you enjoy. Uh, no, the short one. It's only 17 minutes long. Oh, I don't remember. I'd have to go check and see again. Taking notes is really hard work. It is. It's really hard work, and it takes a lot of dedication. We really appreciate your thoughts and notes. Just goes you're comfortable with. I only ever felt the need to make a chart for QJJ because it was too much for me. We had a chart. Actually, I think we have like two QJJ character charts. Although one of them, I think every now and then there was a piece of inaccurate information I saw, but that's okay. On my phone, I just highlight the funny bits and bookmark the drawings. Hmm. Some people love doing drugs. That is right. I mean that Oxy is also yes. Oxy is keeping me awake personally because you have traumatized me during this live session. I don't know how do you expect me to be able to go to bed soundly tonight? So anyway, what was I about to say? No, yes. So I know that a lot of people live by the philosophy of do what you love. And to a degree, I agree with that, but within reason, because I think sometimes the things that we love doing are not beneficial for us, or sometimes the things that we love doing are standing in the way from things that we love more, especially if we create unhealthy obsessions or fixations on things. And so, like, there's always a fine line for me of just do what you want, just do what you love, like Hua Chung told Shilian, just do whatever you want. It's kind of like, okay, sometimes, yes. There are some things I want to do that I should not do. Like, I don't need to do those things. And I know what they are. They need to be put down. Let's not do those things. So, yeah. But I am going to do um, what is right for Mari. That's all I can say, you know. So, I'm very, very excited. Um, I don't like working, but have to. Yeah. Sometimes we also have to do the things we don't love, which, ugh, Sometimes I don't want to work. Actually, we had a meeting at my job this past Wednesday, a virtual meeting. We hired a new marketing person, and they were being introduced to each of us. And the executive director was like, "This is Kamaria. She's my right hand." And I was just like, "Shit." The executive director is calling me her right hand. Like, on one hand, it's like, wow, I've never had a position like this before where an executive director of a company is saying that I'm the right hand. On the other hand, it was like, I don't think I like that. It's like that terrifies me a little bit. Also, I'm left-handed, so it's kind of weird that I'm your right hand because but yeah, sometimes I don't want to work, but we have to continue to live. And overall, I think where I'm working is good, and I just hope that our company continues to improve, and hopefully the ideas that I present or me and this other lady present, will go through. So, we'll see about that. Just learn to enjoy again. Yeah, that is essentially what I'm doing because for this channel, I stopped. Well, I never stopped enjoying Danmei, but I stopped just enjoying Danmei. Like, it was actually, I wouldn't even say Danmei, reading. I stopped just enjoying reading because it always was about, let me read and make sure I'm in character. Let me take my notes so I can share the thoughts at the end and so we can have discussions and this and this and that. So it wasn't just reading for the sheer enjoyment of it, but adding so many other things. No pressure, boss. Look. Also, I found you when I was already into book 2 of QJJ. Oh, so you'd made your own chart by then. Understood, understood. Yeah, it's I think I even made a character chart for that one too, like for the first two volumes, and then I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna keep doing this. I didn't like it the first time I did it, or this when I added more people. I was like, mm-mm, we're not doing this. We are not doing this anymore. Mm-mm. So, but yeah. Do I have anything else to say? Because we have officially finished this volume, and we don't have another one until about 2.5 weeks to 3 weeks away. I am, like I said, going on vacation at the end of August. So even after we start QJJ, there was going to be a week's worth of time that there will be no reading. So if you guys read ahead, it is what it is. Cause I'll be gone, living my best childish life. But mm, yeah, okay. Let me close out my calendar. TJOJ is just throwing lots of names without explaining who is who. Character guide is essential for reading it. Yeah. So, oh, right. To answer the someone asked, how is TJOJ right now? Twin Jays of Jiangdong. Okay. Let me just say first off, compared to Astrolabe Rebirth and River Bay Road, I like the sound of Twin Jays of Jiangdong better. Uh, I will say, I actually liked River Bay Road Volume 1. I thought there were some weird moments, but I thought that those were moments the author was going to do something with. And then, Volume 2 was just kind of a letdown overall. But I did like Volume 1, so I won't necessarily say I like Twin Jades of Jiangdong better than Volume 1 of River Bay Road. It's just in a different world, you know? So, I right now, I think I'm just getting into the story. What have I read? Like 40, 30, 40 pages or something like that. There are I still feel like the writing is there, it needs some improvement. Like, I don't want to say too much right off the bat. Not like spoilers or anything like that, but I mean as far as how I'm enjoying it or my likings of it, because I'm still in chapter 1. Because the chapters are long, by the way. Hate that. It was in SV all of MXTX's books. I hate that the chapters are that long. It's not real, but I feel like I am making the like more progress when there are more chapters. Yes, it is the same author. And so I feel as though when reading this that there are still some things missing for me, just detail wise, which number one could be from footnotes. You know, there's a huge lack of footnotes from Seven Seas, which is highly disappointing. We already know about that from, Thrice Married to a Salted Fish. Uh, like there was even one thing where Cao Cao was mentioned, and I thought they were talking about the devil because sure, Cao 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 Cao. Speak of the devil appears. But no, it was talking about a great general named Cao Cao. But there was no footnote for that, and I would have appreciated that. So the lack of information with the lack of footnotes is a bit frustrating. But I also kind of feel like there's a lack of information just in the story overall, which is no fault of the author, I suppose. I don't know if I should say I suppose or not, because this was written in China or in the Chinese language for Chinese people. We're just getting it. So maybe they would know these things. Maybe this is just common knowledge. But even still, a part of me is also like, I don't know. Because even when American people like write American stories, if they're providing you with something that's coming from history, just because it might be something that people have learned does not mean that everyone has learned it or that everyone has retained slash remembered it. And so certain things would be provided to help the reader. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like things are lacking a little bit for me, but I'm going to keep reading because I like the dynamic. I like ish where I think things are going from the little bit that I've read. Like interested enough to keep reading. I need to make sure that I read today so that I don't forget what I've already read. um but yes, just as far as like the writing style, going back to that, thus far, I would say that Fei Tian Yexiang is just not my favorite. And maybe it's just because of this book. I, I don't know, because I've read Astrolabe Rebirth, which, I fell in love with the first chapter, especially the opening, but then I didn't really like Astrolabe. I started reading River Bay Road, was liking that only to get disappointed by it. And, sometimes things were kind of missing in that for me. I felt like things were missing in Astrolabe Rebirth, and now I'm in Twin Jades of Jiangdong, and I just feel like, so I don't know. Maybe Fei Tian Yeshang is just not for me. Either that, or maybe I have to leave it to Legend of Exorcism and Joyful Reunion. You know, the main things people talk about. Because I don't really hear people talk about the previous three that I just mentioned. I don't know yet. I still plan on reading Legend of Exorcism, so we shall see. But I think there's just the high possibility that maybe this just not for me. I don't know. I don't know. Because I just be feeling like things are missing. So, what did I miss? TJOJ is just throwing lots of. Oh, yeah, I read that already. I will go through the videos you posted so I have some context for Twin Jades. Yeah, and I need to go look at those too, obviously, since Seven Seas is not going to give us proper footnotes, which is very annoying. Hope you get to have lots of fun. Me too. I'm so excited. I'm so ready to go. Like I was ready to go yesterday. Both my husband and I, like he the other day was just like, I'm so ready for us to go on vacation. I was like, me too, babe. Me too. Please be mindful of spoilers. Oh yeah, I guess we do if we watch the videos, yeah. The fan translation is giving me AI translation vibes. Oh man. So you can't even enjoy it that way either. Gosh, that's awful. He said then read the BL version For are you saying that from all of my complaints? That's what actually I meant to ask you the other day, Cookie Licious. I just forgot if you could tell me again what the name of the BL version was so that I could save it. Um, yeah. Who is the BL version by? Oh, LOL, he is the author I gave up on. Really? I don't hear a lot of people talk about giving up on or not liking Fei Tian Yashang, so it's very interesting and nice to see you say that because yeah, I've just been having a really difficult time. And I think like the fact that I haven't read it since I started 2 days ago says a lot because if I really like something, even if I was like, I only have time for 10 pages, like I would be like, okay, let me go look, let me go read 10 pages. But instead, I've been like, no, let me remove my hair. I mean, take down my hair. What? And so I don't know. We'll see. The chapter length gave me pause. I don't think people realize how much of a hindrance that can be for people when it comes to reading books. It's a psychological thing, but yeah. Like I honestly loved had the shortness of the chapters in Salted Fish. Make me feel like I'm really making progress, you know? Like, yeah, I read 10 chapters. Hey. It might be 38 chapters in the book, but I read 10 chapters. So, you said Fatian definitely has a certain style of writing that oops, that is where'd it go? The comments moved. Oh, building can be confusing and sometimes I feel there are hiccups or speed bumps within the writing. Like it doesn't always flow at some parts. That's how I was feeling. And like there was even a fight scene that happened. And for a second, I had to remind myself that the two characters were fighting because I just feel like it wasn't necessarily written that well. And for a second, I was like, maybe I'm being judgmental because I know how I feel about writing fight scenes like from MXS. But I was like, no, this just isn't written that well, like the fighting. So, like, I was having a hard time imagining it. And I feel like that's saying something because it's really like the way that Munchie Sure wrote the fights out for $1,000 in Peerless, even with all the extra fanciful things that don't happen in real life, I was able to see it. Shoot, even reading MXTX, like the um mega huge statue Shellyan and all of that stuff I was able to imagine in my head, but I was stumped. Like, wait, what's actually happening here? Not quite sure. It's like, oh, they're fighting. Right. Okay. Yes, I want to read The Legend of Exorcism. There's even a part of me that considered just going ahead and like going to that, but I want to try to give this a chance because it's not Don May, and I've really been wanting to get back into reading non Don May because I've been so Don May and BL heavy. So Eloise has a good story, but just like Mari has mentioned, there are a few things missing. It doesn't remind the story or anything. I enjoy the side couple more. It doesn't ruin the story. Dang, you enjoy the side couple more? I always feel like that's really sucky. Or like that's a bad thing when people enjoy the side couple more than the main couple. It's kind of like, dang, was the main couple underwhelming? Stratagem come back. Stratagem of Winds by Min Yue Fu. Okay, I'll just type it in there. Oh, and it could be purchased as well. Oh, that looks beautiful. Okay, and is it just one volume? Okay, we'll see. Thank you, Cookie. Thank you for getting the first half of my day to go by fast. You're most welcome. Bukuchi de nada. Willkommen. Okay, it's only one volume. Great. If you try two books and you just don't like the prose, like me with Meat Bun and him, yeah, almost feel like if I don't, I'm gonna read the rest of chapter one, and if I'm not feeling it, then I am gonna DNF it because I really just want to read things that you know I'm feeling. Maybe I'll try if it. I don't know. We'll see. I won't be afraid to DNF it, but I am going to give it a fair shot because some parts of it are interesting and it's so early in the book, and I'm going to watch the videos that Cookie Licious provided so that I can get the historical context myself since we're not getting any from footnotes. Um, same gripes with multiple books is usually just not for me. Yeah, like not me saying it's not wonderfully written, but just like the person's writing style and approach is just not for me, I think. SVSSS chapter lengths. Yes. Yes. I don't like how they did with MXDX books and 17. No, no. And then they had the nerve to like put in there, like this chapter is web novel chapters blank through blank. It's like, why did you just separate them like that then? Would it really have been that difficult? I didn't realize SVS chapters. Yep, all of MXDX's books had long chapters. Yeah, I've only read the one fight scene thus far, and it was very underwhelming. And y'all know how much I love fight scenes. At least I think by now you do. Try ORV. That's the omniscient something something. Tag me in Discord about it because I think I saw that in the store the other day. Non Don super short chapters. Good storytelling, world building, and character. Don't even consider husband. Oh no, no, no. After you gave your little review in Discord, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna read that. Mm-mm. Nope. Thank you again for expressing, how you really felt about it. So yeah, I speaking of taking you 4 months to read it though, y'all, I am ashamed to say that it took me about 6 months to watch Pursuit of Jade. But I finished it a couple nights ago and I was very happy. Now I'm watching Ashes to Crown, and that's doing pretty good thus far. I did enjoy Pursuit of Jade overall. Not yeah, that's what I'm omniscient reader's viewpoint Korean novel. Oh, but I just finished TGCF yesterday, and I do see how long the chapters were. I guess while it was nice to read, yeah, very very long. But yeah. So we'll see. I try to give books at least 50 pages. I think 50 pages is a good amount. And then from there, I can decide okay, is it good enough for me to at least continue? And maybe I think it's going to be a good book, not a great book. Or is this the point where I DNF? So I need to try to read some today, even if it's just for 30 minutes. But I am doing something very drastic, just so you all know, which some people, well, I think overall you'll understand from a woman's hair perspective, but maybe not necessarily from the specific perspective. But locks are something that are oftentimes very sacred for women of color, whether it's traditional locks, sister locks, micro locks, all of those things. And I've had my locks, I paid $650 to get them done. And you said for you, it's usually half the volume. I feel that too. I do that with fan fiction. Like, well, depending on how long it is, I'll try to get halfway to the halfway point. So I've had my locks for 6 years now. And I've just been thinking a lot. Cookie knows about this because on my TikTok about my locks. At first, when I had that started, I had like 400 of these little things, but I maintained them myself. And I've accidentally combined some. And then recently, I intentionally combined them. And then I was like, crap, I really miss the look of all of the small locks that I had. So, this look that you all have come to know and get used to and love, the thing that a lot of women, consider sacred, maybe not always spiritually sacred, but some people, yes, I am removing mine. I am removing my locks. Not permanently, but I want to start over my lock journey. So, for the past 3 days, I have spent 5 hours each on my hair to take my locks down. And I'm about a third of the way complete after over 15 hours. So, yeah, I've taken them down. Um, and it's been quite the journey. The shrinkage is awful. Like this is my hair shrunk up and then I just pull it down. I'm taking down my locks and I'm figuring out what I'm going to do after. I think I might just let my hair breathe because I'll be tired. Like my arms are tired. I have my wrist, my arm thing, that my arm heater that I had to put on to like relieve my arms because it was a lot. But I'm going to start over my journey. I'm going to do it myself because it's very expensive to get them done, especially after COVID, where I got them done for 650. Now it's like double the price. So I can do it myself. I used to maintain my hair myself all of the time. So, yeah, maybe the next time you guys see me, you will see me with my hair in a different way than with my 350 locks. So, um, you said, damn, Mari, locks are amazing. I do think locks are amazing. It's one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life because I just wake up and I don't have to do anything until it was time for me to retie my locks. But I just want to start over fresh. Yeah. So I'm going to redo them and give me my tiny locks back. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. OMG, so time consuming. Yep. Over 15 hours and still not halfway done. I've looked up several videos of women who have taken down their sister locks as well, and for some of them, it took them over a month. I don't want to take that long. I'm believing I won't take as long as them just because I have a part time job, whereas a lot of people, typically have full time jobs. So we shall see. We shall see. Um, but yeah, it takes a lot of time. Let your hair chill a bit before deciding. LOL. Oh, I'm going to because my arms will be tired. But I mean, even if I knew exactly when, like, I know I want them back, so that there's no decision to be made necessarily. I'm going to get my sister locks back. It's just a matter of how small I want them to be, and if I want to go ahead and just, yes, it's expensive, very expensive, which is why I'm doing it myself. I thought I decided to mess my own hair up to save money. Yeah, it was $650 to get it done. And then every 4 weeks, it was $124 for them to retire it for me, which is why I learned how to do it myself. But in the beginning, it was a lot of trial and error since I was not used to doing it. So I combined a lot of them. You know, you saw the post on Insta. Your curls look so cute. Thank you. No, seriously, when I was doing it, I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot like how soft my hair was. Number one, my hair is extremely soft. And then I was like, oh my gosh, look at these curls. They're so cute. I was like, I don't know. I like this. However, I do not miss the days of having to constantly maintain my natural hair by doing a style, doing a style, doing a style, doing a style. And so that's what these were for. And I love locks. I don't regret them. So they're getting got back. They're getting got back. That's what we're going with. They're getting got back. Regardless of how much I like my curls. Um, it's a nuisance to have to take care of my hair all the time. Like I can't, with my hair before, I couldn't just wake up and then be like, okay, now I can just go about my day. No, I had to, you know, put some conditioner in it or something to make it look right. Because sleeping on my head and then waking up with my hair matted down, it was not okay, having to braid it up constantly. Where now it's just like, I wake up, shake my head, get the day started. So, you cut your own hair too now? Oh, nice. Look at you guys go. I actually thought about cutting these off. It like cutting to a really short length and then taking them out and just like having short hair because I've had short hair before. Um, I wish I could show you guys a picture, but I deactivated my Facebook page. And I was like, I'll just go back to my short hair and maintain that or whatever. But I didn't feel like doing that. Um, yeah, it's gonna take too long to go through Instagram to try to find it. Whatever. I am poop at it, but it's always bound anyway. Gotta go. Meep runs. Enjoy the rest of your day. We will see you in Discord more than likely, and hopefully I can do the art challenge you've posted for the week. He said, I'm having so much hair fall these days. Oh no. No, are you stressed? Why is it falling out? Ah. But anyway, I'm just rambling. That was a lot of rambling for me. Um, yeah, I need to do my next video update showing people how much of my hair has been taken out. I understand though, even though I have straight hair, and just leave it sometimes, but I can't with taking care of the length. I sometimes braid my hair up, sort of similar to your style. So, yeah, exactly. Easy to maintain. Exactly. Yep. So they're coming back. They're coming back. I just want to start over, but I'm definitely going to give myself a break probably for a couple of months and probably do some protective hairstyles or shoot, I don't know. I don't wear wigs. It's been so long. I can't wear wigs with this, but maybe I'll just throw a wig on sometimes and be like, "Okay, I don't care." Until I get back to actually doing my locks. Oh, because of hormones and PCOS. Gotcha. Okay. Well, I hope that improves because, oh man, you're gonna cut your hair short because long hair gets tangled up. Ah, yeah. Long hair can be a nuisance. It's one of those reasons why I've never let my locks grow long. I never intend for them to be long. At most, I would want them to be like a little bit past my shoulders and I could put all of it into a ponytail without a little straggler. But I don't want them to be long. Long hair is a nuisance for sure. So, yeah, that's all I guess I have to say now, you guys. I enjoyed this greatly. Um, man, salted fish. We are almost done. We are almost done with salted fish. We are almost done with Don May and everything on this channel. But it's been such an amazing ride. Uh, I love you guys so much. I am going to call my dad, I guess, because he called me. We've been playing phone tag the past couple of days, which has not been fun at all. And I need to see, look, and he literally texted me and said, "Tag, you're it." LOL, because we've missed each other's phone calls so much. So I'm gonna go talk to my dad because it's been a while since I talked to him, and then I'm probably gonna get back to my hair. I love you all so much. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, or if you're past the daytime and it is nighttime for you, have a beautiful night's sleep. Rest easy, and I will see you all next time. Whenever next time may be. Maybe it'll be on my art channel, which then I would just tag you in Discord to let y'all know, like, hey, I'm doing a live session over there for something. So we'll see. Um, well, I love you guys with my pink fingertips from all my hair dye.